it's my actually, well, it's the
That
best.
color is Caribbean blue.
Ah,
So you
yeah.
have the same color
I
of
love
sweater and of the wall. It's amazing. You see?
it. That's true. That's true.
You're all
Uh,
coordinated.
oh, we're here.
That
We're
color is Caribbean blue.
ah,
So you
yeah.
have the same color of sweater.
I love it here. Now we talk double. Well, we are live. I can't believe this. We're live with beautiful, powerful, my multidimensional sister, Cuckoo for Coconuts.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why
yeah.
we align and have this amazing, immersive, I will say, connection because I travel with you every time we talk. First of all, welcome, welcome, welcome,
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
I love it. Welcome everyone to the episode 8. And I actually was thinking about like, Helena is on the episode 008. Nothing is coincidental. Hence the infinite possibilities, right? The infinite field of possibilities right here, right now. And this is live transmission, disguised, or frequencies disguised as conversation. And I appreciate and I'm grateful for every single being that will tune in live, that will watch later, that holds the codes for this new paradigm and a new earth as well, even if they're not watching here, right? And I'm infinitely grateful with whatever we are going to create right now in this moment. And with no further blah, blah, blah. I can't. Wow, I'm so excited. Helena, Helena and
Yeah,
I
too
met
cute.
on Instagram, and it was a recognition, I will say.
Yeah.
It was a recognition and a reunion, and my beautiful
Like siblings getting
sibling.
like, oh
Yeah,
my God, didn't you a sister from another mister? Yeah, that kind of thing.
exactly, exactly. And as you know, this podcast, call it podcast portal, whatever you want to call it, right? When we come together, of being the glitch. I created it because, again, for so many, a lot of times years, right? Years or maybe even, decades, we felt alone. We felt in
Yeah,
solitude. It's a big part of a journey of this awakening path. Because we are the glitches, we are the outliers, we are the anomalies,
yeah.
and we don't operate the way the whole system operates. Right? We're like in the minority operational system within us.
You're
Hence,
you're always you're always given some sort of a name or a label, no matter what
exactly,
spectrum you're on, there is always some spectrum they place you on, just to place
exactly.
you
Yep,
somewhere.
yep.
To
Yeah.
make
So
sure you're not in the parameters of normal. You're always somewhere on some spectrum. You're always an
yeah, yeah,
outlier.
yeah, yeah. So it's so amazing and it feels so good to come together, to reunite. And in my interpretation, that's literally what we get to do now for each other. I know that a lot of us, held the space, the field, for the collective, for others, and everything. What about each other? We get to support each other. We get
Yeah,
to pour into each other right now. Hold hands, like really
yeah.
stand
There,
by each
there
other.
is this beautiful. Have you seen? There was a meme that was going around, like a post. I remember I had two accounts that were deleted before this one on Instagram. I was deleted twice. Last one,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
2022.
yeah. Uh-huh.
And I remember I posted. I couldn't find it. There was a beautiful post that says, "We are not alone. We are all of us, just walking each other home." That's
Absolutely.
what we are doing. We are walking each other fucking home. That's
Yeah.
what we are doing.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, hence the podcast of like being the glitch, not only to share or to transmit what we're preaching or embodying,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Works
yeah.
for us, yet at the same time to be seen for our experiences, for our
Yes.
personal experiences,
And activations too.
man, to feel
'Cause
her.
I got activated from somebody's podcast, I'm sure.
I
I
like
got activated
absolutely.
by
Yeah, yeah,
listening
yeah.
to someone. It like combusts many months later, but it's
Yeah,
activated like dynamite inside you and it's just simmering, and then it combusts. But
yeah,
we're all
absolutely.
activators for each other. Yeah.
Yeah, the minds, whatever the minds take through the words, again, it's very small spectrum. Same like the light that we see, our higher selves, our fields take so much more,
Yes,
and then so much more with each other and co-create. That's absolutely. So, Helena, thank you so much for being here, for
I love it.
playing
Thank
in
you.
the sandbox, so, pull out the hugest sandbox for us. And
Yes.
I will have a few questions, as I do for all the glitches, to honor the experience, because again, as you said, and a big part of this journey is being dismissed, being labeled,
Yeah.
is being basically we get to
Negated, and constantly, if I can say that one constant theme that I have had through this life and past lives, I have this feeling of being constantly, your experience is always minimalized and marginalized. It doesn't matter. I learned that way. I
yeah,
learned that I don't matter. Like until today, if I speak, that's why I'm interrupting people. I interrupt people
you
because
want to be heard. Yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah.
learned that I don't matter. So everybody would say whatever they have to say. And then in the end of the whole dialogue, I would be like, can I? So fuck off. Nobody's listening to you. And that's
Yeah,
why I learned by 40 that I have to interrupt people to get word edgewise because I was never ever heard. I was
yeah.
always like,
Up until
that
now.
ugly kid down the street, that ugly kid, you can throw rocks on her from when she walks by. It's fine. Don't worry. She's fine. She's there. So I was never heard. I was never in the center of attention. I was never really somebody who anybody heard. And the
Yeah.
men I was with, I don't think they knew like what language I spoke. I remember I was engaged to a dude for 4 years. I told him I'm from Croatia. He said, "Is that South America?" Like, I'm learning your language. I'm learning your kid. I completely, immerse myself in the other being, and they don't know what country I'm from. Like 5 years in. So basically, you're always kind of not dismissed, but you are this. Your experience is completely denied in a way.
But yeah, again, because it doesn't fit
Yeah,
the system's operational system.
yeah,
We're such a misfit that they cannot,
yeah,
there's nothing to calculate
yeah,
for, we are the anomaly.
yeah.
Hence again, thank you. And here you can interrupt as much as you want. You can be as
Thank
loud
you.
as you want.
I
You can be
want.
as
I want.
quiet as you want. Like we literally just doing us and being us.
Yeah,
And again, through us sharing our experiences, maybe there are still people out there as well, like that feels lonely or feels unseen, the
yeah,
outliers,
yeah.
anomalies, right?
Yes,
The black sheeps. And us sharing our experiences,
yeah.
that
100%. Yeah,
confirm, yeah, for them and activate them into empowerment and so on.
yeah,
So there's so much that I know that I would love to go with you. Like really, we
yeah,
can go many, many places. Before anything gonna come up, before you're gonna start sharing anything, or if we're gonna go into a little bit of quantum energy, and all of the jazz in the field,
yeah.
here is a question for your personal journey.
Uh-huh.
So first of all, right? Um,
Yeah,
oh, we were giggling right before, and I know you said you'll share here, right? Like Helena's the old paradigm. Helena's dream was like, hey, I want to be a trophy wife. I just want to have a beautiful,
yeah,
simple, like just do my nails and shop and that's it. That's the high vision. That's the vision that she had, right? So what what allowed you to remember? What woke you up? Pain, what
oh,
truth, right?
so
So
uh, the
whatever.
awake,
Go.
the awakening of everyone is not a choice. If you think it's a choice, meaning you haven't actually embarked on the journey. Meaning, if you see the straight path in front of you, you're not on the path. The path of awakening, the path of coming back to yourself doesn't have a step in front of you. So it wasn't my choice. I was in New York already like a trophy wife. I lived in a building, Richard Meyer building on Charles Street in New York, if you know New York, in West Village. I was engaged to this very, very, very successful man, extremely successful, like 30 under 30 most successful New Yorkers. We were like super fun couple. My first neighbor above me was Hugh Jackman, and then was Nicole Kidman or that crew, you know.
Love
So
it.
Calvin Klein was on top. So we lived this extremely nice, beautiful life. Like my building has 8 doormen for like 5 apartments, something like that. Like crazy, beautiful, beautiful existence. Like every weekend in Caribbean, Miami, Hawaii, traveling, shopping, anything you want. Like beautiful Fifth Avenue life. And then we are about to get married, and I start seeing my visions of myself in Tibet in some monastery. And the more that this whole shebang of materialism and this superficiality and this endless consuming takes place in my life, the more I'm feeling the split inside of me. It's like I feel like there's a part of me that's always screaming inside. No matter what I'm doing, I had a feeling sitting in those gala dinners in New York. You're always gala dinners 7 days a week. I felt that I was just gonna take a fork and stab my fork into my thigh every night just to feel alive, because I felt that part of me was just dying. And it wasn't a choice. I packed up and I left. It shouldn't have been done that way. It shouldn't have been done. It was not, but I didn't have a choice. I just started a new life in the Balkans, and then I went to a monastery side of living, completely opposite. So I would go there with private jets and private drivers and everything that you can imagine of 0.01% lives. And then go from there to a stone floor and like rice bowl every day. Like no money, nothing, just in the monastery, in absolute opposite. So my soul was deciding these things. It was never me. I didn't do shit. I didn't do nothing. It was none of my choices ever. But I was activated. I think originally I wanted to pay it. Would like people to know that activations happen in your body and in your being without your knowing, without your acknowledgement, knowledge, or participation. People have to know this. You are living antennas. And before I was 30, I didn't know what was happening. But I now remember in recollection that I went to every chakra of the world before I was 33 for no reason, like Hawaii, Egypt, India, Tibet, just for. And when I went to Egypt, it blew my circuits open. I started vomiting and dying. And it kept repeating always on the 7th of January, it's usually that date, that it always happens. It was a pattern of complete annihilation. So the physical body dies, the mental body dies. I wake up with amnesia. I don't know who I am. It's absolute annihilation. It's ground zero atomic bomb. It's like nukes you. For me, it was very drastic. For other people, it doesn't have to be. But when I've done a past life regression, I had a husband and 2 children in Germany during the Second World War. And I saw them like I see you. And the bomb fell during the bombardment of Berlin in 1945. And my 7-year-old twins died. And I committed suicide. So I was reincarnated. Otherwise, I wouldn't come back because I was quite awake. But as long as you are not passing that lesson of that escape, I committed suicide. So I came back here and I couldn't trace why I was reincarnated in a family that has very strong suicidal tendencies on both ends. My grandfather was very suicidal. On the other side, I have grandma that my grandma walked through the forest during the Nazi invasion, and she lowered one of her twins into the snow and continued walking. So she left her child, again, twins against sacrifice. So the theme keeps coming back in all of my past lives that I can remember. Mm. It is the abandonment of children. It is a sacrifice of a child, mother-child connection, alchemy. And then the mother that rejects herself for it. And then that plays out. So my mother, when I incarnated here, she had to reject me. Because she says, she used to say, my mom used to say, when you were born, everybody hated you because we were all scared of you. There's no reason enough to fear the little baby, because in a past life, I was probably her mother. So that keeps coming until one person doesn't stop the lineage. And I come from lineage where 2 sets of parents and grandparents were 7 generations backwards into the war, deep war, or serfhood, or slaughter. My great-grandfather, 4 wars, like they're all wars in Europe, in the Balkans. So we come here and we get activated. It's never our choice. It wasn't me saying, oh, I want to do this. It was activation upon activation, and it was within. And then mine is only being aware and present in life. So you can only have one choice. Choice is 2 things. Align or in the way, align or in the way, align or in the way. There's nothing in between. So for me, it wasn't, should I do this, should I do this, should I do this? No, it was just one choice, which are 2 options. I'm either aligned or in the way, or aligned. So as long as I'm not aligned or in the way, I'm suffering. Wherever I'm aligned, I'm flow. Suffering flows. And that training of consciousness, of body, when I'm suffering and I'm flow, and suffering and flow went on for 20 years. But I learned how energy works without, you have to be aware to know, oh, this is suffering. Oh, now I'm in flow. Oh, this is suffering.
Yeah.
And by doing that, at one point, like riding a bike, it becomes very second nature. So the thought that starts meandering into a spiral of vortex of time space, which is going into the loop of some victimhood, is like, oh, yeah, no. So there's
No,
no like, you know,
no, thank you.
at this point, when there is one Buddhist, because I was a Buddhist for a while and studied a lot of Upanishads, and like one of my exercises, you see how strange this is. One of my exercises when I was a kid in school was write your own obituary. That's very strange. And then
Okay.
I walked through the graveyards for until I was me and my sister. We used to regularly walk through the graveyards. It was like our practice, like very, very connected to the other side, to the point at one point I say, I'm so delusional, I'm so on the other side of the veil that this reality is not going to spoil me. That's the real world. This is not a real world. This is illusion. And then shifting towards the place where you create energy potential for whatever is going to happen here. And we who are alchemists, we have one thing, which is being very cocky. We are very cocky. Look at all the alchemists that identify as alchemists. We are very cocky. Like, I'm going to crash and burn. Let me crash and burn. Like, I'm going to try some heroin and some speedball. Let me kill myself so I can resuscitate me with shocks. And I did that. Like, let me do
Bold, bold,
everything I can. And
bold.
when I wrote a book many years ago and it was going to be published. My first sentence was in that book, which was now in retrospect really crazy. It said, the quality and diversity of experience was the only criteria that ever guided all my choices. So just to be as diverse,
Oh, yeah.
intense, and intense. And that was the only criteria. So if there are 5 options that are normal and one that is crazy, you're going to go for the crazy. Just diversity is like, let me graduate from all of this so I don't have to come back.
Wow. Okay, so a few things came up. First of all, love what you said about having the material success, right? And still feeling that a part of you is dying and choking.
Oh,
Um,
he said to me, because I was never material, never, even was a kid, if younger, nothing really. Like I would wear expensive clothes, I would have a $50,000 bag or whatever. But he said to me, his family and all of them, like the very wealthy people, they said to me, "Oh, she doesn't understand this life. She's a small town girl." So I was a small town because I said to him, "Who are you?" And Roma, one thing that is very interesting for women that I think should be aware of, we are activators. So I went
yeah,
with my first fiance. I was
uh,
engaged like a couple of times. The first fiance that I dated with 5 years in Athens, he was like 300 pounds. And when they told me, how can you be with a fat guy? And I said, who's fat? I didn't see the body.
the
I just
same.
didn't see it. He was
Yeah,
300 pounds. I didn't see. What can I do? And when we were together, I activated him to the point that when we were breaking up, he walked around with a little bell in his hand. So he can bell all the time that he's not present. He would like, and then goes, oh, I'm present now. And then again, and he would go back. So he had started going into presence to the point that he would carry a little tiny Buddhist bell around him. So imagine the span he went activated completely from absolute, like, merchant selling bed linen going into the opposite extreme of awakening and monkhood. And now he lives in one month a year, he lives in a Greek monastery. So he
beautiful.
went 360. Second guy happened the same thing. And my last fiance, when I met him, he didn't know what meditation was. He didn't know nothing. And I asked him, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? That question is intended to dissolve the questioner, not to get the answer. Just dissolve the questioner. Who am I? Who am I? I'm not a brain. I'm not the mind. I'm not the consciousness. I'm not the background. Who am I? I'm ultimate reality. Who am I? And when he made $130 million that he sold his business when we broke up, he took money that he earned and he opened yoga centers and meditation centers in New York. So he went 360. He was absolutely activated in those 4 years from one extreme to the other. And it feels as though women come into men's lives, in male life, who are very linear guys. Men are mostly quite linear. They have to be in this world.
Yeah.
And with our codes, we activate in them that stream of consciousness, which is absolute stream of your divinity, of your inner self. And they're in the beginning, they're like resistant. It's really resistance to it. I remember how much resistance it was. Absolute resistance. Why I do this? Why I do that? He didn't understand it. He hated the idea that he's changing. And I remember his mom came to me and said, I'll never forget you what you've done to my son. People are offended by awakening the part of them which is divine, because in this world, especially Babylon of New York, it has no service. It is a liability. It's always a liability. It's not a virtue.
Yeah, yeah, in the old matrix. Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
You become the this there's a stabilizer and then there's
yeah, yeah.
destabilizer.
Yeah, yeah, like you're like a dissonant chord. Like they're
Yeah.
playing a symphony, you're like, eh. They're like, no, 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 don't do that. Eh. Like it was always dissonance. Dissonance. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing? I remember I came to New York and I watched September 11. I arrived to New York and I was sitting on top of my university and escaped from another country because I was in the war, so I didn't have a passport. So I was arrested at the airports, and it was crazy story. But I somehow found my way into New York, and I got to New York, and I'm standing in New York on a miniature mountain of luggage that I came with 9 suitcases. I moved like my pillows and everything and curtains, whatever, like a refugee. I took everything I could take and moved to New York. I didn't know anyone. I know nothing about New York. And when I arrived that morning, the September 11 happened. It was Tuesday morning, I remember. And on Monday, I was with these Dutch girls on my university. And when these things happened, I went to university to classes, and my teacher told me, can you please not to come to class anymore because you're messing up my curves? And her name was Caroline. And I remember he was very, very nice teacher, but she literally asked me, because I would come and I would do these tests and I would do like 100% or whatever it's supposed to be done. I don't know. And she would say to me, listen, you are messing up my curves. You don't have to come. And the same thing happened in Greece. He said, don't come to my class anymore. I'll give you an A. Just don't come to my classes because you're messing up the curves. So you see how you are in a good way or in a bad way. You are like a dissonant chord, always going in there like a wrench in the engine, like throwing in the wrench. Like don't do that. Don't do. So if there is one imagery of yourself when you're awakened being, you're basically a wrench in the engine of the reality of 3D. You're a wrench. Everywhere they go, you just throw in a wrench. Like don't do it. Don't do it. And you have to have stomach for it. You have to have
Yeah.
stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do agree as well that it's at the end of the end, it's not a choice. It's an
Yeah.
yeah, for me the same. It was and it's just an obsession.
Yeah.
You're almost yeah, you
Yes, yes.
cannot
You cannot
not
think about other things. Like,
cannot not do it. You cannot
uh-huh.
not beat. You
Yes,
cannot not go
yes,
down the rabbit hole. Like you
yes,
cannot not do it. There is no
yes,
way.
yes,
Because yeah, so
yeah,
I definitely agree with that. And for me, it was 2012 where um the I had a personal training company. I lived downtown Chicago in a high rise, 55th floor, enjoying really like you say, going out with the girls to Four Seasons, sitting at the bar wearing
yeah.
Chanel from
Everything we dreamed as little girls in
Chanel from
Eastern
head to
in Eastern
toe.
Europe,
Yeah, and I could feel a silent depression so deeply inside of me that I couldn't even. I was like, this is the first
Yeah.
time that I feel like I made it. What is happening? And I
Yes.
literally packed, gave everything away, rented a little storage, put my stuff there, and closed my personal
Yeah.
training company, everything within a month. And I had to leave because I didn't, I could feel
Feel it.
choking in like
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
like I
Yeah. Yeah.
couldn't have air.
Yeah.
Um, and everybody would look at me as like, wow, you made it. And I'm
Crazy.
like,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love it. I like
Yeah, I
how
remember just before my wedding, because the 300 people were supposed to were flying in with private jets to Beirut, and the page was announced on page 6. The wedding was announced on page 6, and all the kind of things like a big hoopla in New York, like society wedding. And I remember we were in the Hamptons, and we had a really big house, beautiful house that was like on a cover page of Architectural Digest, all that
love it.
beautiful house, like a James Bond house in the Hamptons. And my parents came, and my parents are sitting in the pool area, It's a beautiful art piece of a house that was created by an artist, architect that got all the Pritzker prizes. And it's like a dream.
Yeah.
Around you are the forests where the does are meandering, you know, the does and the deer.
Yeah, yeah,
My
yeah.
mom's sitting there, they came in for to meet the parents and rehearse and all that. So my parents are sitting by the pool, my sister is there, my father is there, my beautiful, lovely fiance is there who adores me. His family is there, everything. I have withdrawn myself into a bedroom. I pulled out all the shades. I'm laying down in bed like this for 18 hours and crying. And I
Yeah.
couldn't get up. And I
Yeah.
had these bouts of depression when I just couldn't get up.
Yeah.
And I fought clinical depression and attempted suicide when I was very young. And when it failed a few times, then I realized I'm supposed to be here. If God has placed me here and clinical death and came back, clinical death, he, like we all ate the same thing. I was in Denver. We all ate the same thing. I ended up flatlining. Nobody else did. Nobody else did. So it's really strange that when I came back from that CD, NDE, you know, crossed out, I realized that nothing is my choice. And for me back then, everything came back in a sense that I was not given an option of doubt. Life is very easy when you remove doubt. Imagine if somebody just removed doubt from everything you know and you don't know. Imagine how easy it is. You have no choice. You're doing what you have to do because there's no doubt. And I don't doubt it. 300 people would come to me and say, we don't see the guy that's sitting next to us. I said, but he's sitting right here. There's a person next to me. He doesn't have a physical form. I see him. So this guy came with me when I came back from clinical death. I was an atheist. I was raised in an atheist family. My father took me to see every exorcist and horror movie by the age of 8. I have read everything you know about horror and demons and
Wow.
evil and Hellraisers by the age of 7. I know every Hellraiser movie by heart by the age of 8. Imagine all this. My father puts their communist country atheists, like intellectuals, and he does this to an 8-year-old girl who doesn't know God. But I am God, so I know myself. But I know it. I know it in me. There. He said to me when I was 8, he says, if God was almighty and omnipotent, as you say he is, as they say he is, can he create a rock that is so big that he cannot lift it himself? So if he's omnipotent, he either creates the rock, cannot lift it, or cannot create a rock. So either way, he's not omnipotent, you lose.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what you do to an 8-year-old? That's what kind of doubt you put into her head? But it was I wrote I wrote a book in which he said, like, the way I threw myself into life without parachute every time, I think it had more faith in it than if you put 75,000 churches of faithful people together.
Yeah.
Because I remember I came to New York, to LA during lockdown, and I traveled during lockdown, like crazy stuff. No vaccine, no passport, the
Yeah. Yeah.
exemption,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah. Yeah.
nothing. I just arrived to LA, and I didn't have a place to stay because everything was closed and it was locked down. And I left my Airbnb because I just moved out of Airbnb. I couldn't even stay there anymore. And I walked over a car on Hollywood Boulevard to tell somebody to move their car because they blocked me. I need to leave. And there is this dude, Israeli guy, that's running some sort of a renovation of a next door house with the Mexicans. And he goes to me, "Oh, you're a pretty lady." I say, "Yeah, I'm a pretty lady. I have to move. I have nowhere to live. My car is here. Everything is inside the car. It's locked down. I'm living in the street. Leave me." And he goes, "You're a pretty lady." He says, "I haven't been in Israel for 6 years and I need to go home to see my mom. Would you like to house sit my house and my dog for a month in Sherman Oaks?" And I was like, "Oh, this is how this works. This is how this works." And I remember these moments when I would just throw myself off the cliff and saying, like, "God, wings, help, anything, anyone." It's like, yay, yay. Oftentimes you just drop and you break into pieces. But in last 5 years, there is no choice of doubt. So if it's happening for me. If it's not happening, it's not happening for me. So it's either way, it's happening for me.
Yeah.
And that knowing is so deep that I always say it's resonating in your cells. Don't use your mind. Mind is a roadblock in all this.
Yeah.
everything that resonates outside or in you, it's first in your cells before it becomes reality. And I have to say, this guy is real. Nobody can see him, but I know he's real. And I contacted this guy that didn't have physical form. I contacted his mentor in Hollywood. His name was William Richard, and he died. And he said, he was a famous director, and he said to me, Helena, every single word you said was his. That comes from a man I didn't know, of a mentor I didn't know, that basically you connected on a level without physical form to essence of somebody, that you realize there's absolutely no separation. There's no privacy. When you're on toilet, there's 13 of them without form sitting around you. It's like, huh. Like, I'm in the
I
bathroom
was
now.
laughing. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm going to interrupt you for a second. I was actually laughing. Who I don't remember who I was talking to. Maybe Tim again. Yet there is really no personal conversation or private conversation because
yeah.
leave alone that there's so much going on what we don't
But you
see.
are the field. You are the field.
Yeah, yeah, and again, everything is seen as well. I can see your inner conversation about yourself just from your body, just from the way you speak about the world. I know your fears. I know your inner world, just from the way you judge
Yes.
or not
Yeah.
judge, right? Like really, there's no private conversation. You think you can
But
hide,
you can. Most
but
people
you can't
cannot detect
hide
that.
anything. Well, yeah. Well, the I feel like with the next few years,
Yes.
because I can feel already well, I've been feeling that telepathy for a while now. Yet I can feel that even people that were not aware of it, starting to be aware, was like, wow, Roma,
Yes.
I just
Yes.
thought about you. You called me. Wow,
Yeah.
Roma, I just did this and you. So yeah, I feel like really we're gonna the energy speaks louder than anything, than your words or or the
Yeah.
shape of anything.
The other day I was feeding the crows because I'm very connected to the crows generally. I don't know why, but
Okay, okay, love
I
it.
was feeding the crows. I feed them from time to time here in my park nearby. So the other day it was very funny scene. I'm driving a bike. I sold my car. I don't have a car anymore. So I'm driving bike. I'm biking everywhere. So I'm driving my bike down the street, right? And I see these people, they're walking towards me down the street. They're like looking at me funny. And they're like, I have a feeling they were a little bit scared and uncomfortable because there's a crow that landed on my head. And I could feel, I was like, first I thought it was like a piece of a branch because I
Like
can feel
something
something
fell.
really cold on my scalp. I was like, what is on my head? And then I see the crow. She just landed on my head and then she flew off and it's like, hi, bye. I was like, okay, this was crow now, just landed on my head. And imagine somebody sees me. They already called me a crazy lady with the trees because I talk to the trees and I have names for every tree and I hug them I say hi to every tree in the town, take me
Yeah,
15
yeah, 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 yeah.
to get to my coffee shop. But the funniest part is like I told my friend, like imagine people in this town, like I call them linears. Imagine the linears if they see me from 30 years ago, that I was always crazy. They always call me crazy woman. But imagine now, like she came back from America and now she's driving around town on her. She's 50. She's driving around town on a bike with a crow on her head. Like that. Imagine who saw that because there was a coffee shop across the street that usually people are sitting. It's called people watching. Like. And in that moment, I just drove slowly in front of the coffee shop with a crow on my head. Like, who is this crazy shaman, this lunatic? But you
I
see, you
love
don't
it.
see it. It's like,
I
hi,
love it. Yeah, and again, there's more and more of. There was one awesome being on TikTok actually that I met. She does her light language, so she always goes out
yeah,
into the park or by water, and actually she started filming. At this point, the crows, a bunch of crows, wait for
uh-huh,
her, follow, sit around her while she does the light language.
yeah.
Then there is another. So I mean, again,
They are smartest animal in the world,
the
crows.
connection in general with the nature as well, it's
Uh-huh.
it's sort of being seen
Yeah,
more
more and
uh
more. The
more and more.
illusions,
Yeah.
the world is not falling apart. The illusions are.
Yes, yes.
And when I started doing this, I had no choice, and I can tell you it was suffering. Like I would often say to myself, Helena, if this lasts for another week, I'm going to step into traffic. This was my thinking. Like I can always step into traffic. It was getting. I was very. I think it came with my incarnation here. Everything comes with incarnation. Nothing is like very little. When people tell me I create my life, I just laugh. You're co-creating in a framework of creator, God source creator. You're either with him, you're aligned or in the way. you yourself have very little wiggle room to create whatever you want if you're not aligned with God, with your source. But I remember that was part of the incarnation. They really don't understand me, and that's the beauty. I would say to her, like, I can see like people sitting next to you now, to my mom, and she would freak out so much, like she would like kick me out of a room. She doesn't speak to me. She gives me silent treatment for a week or so since I was a baby. That's her only way. She's like silent treatments, always silent treatment, always negation, always like put you in a corner. And she does that now, actually, still. But that's my lesson. And yeah, I didn't have parents who were like, yeah, she's awakening. She's saying smart stuff. She's nicer. She's politer. She overcame her clinical depression without meds. She was this. She was like, there were so many hallmarks of evolution that somebody who has a iota of consciousness could see in their child and say, whoa, fuck, look what she's doing on her own. Like, no money, no support, no parents, from a fucking third world country, alone, without anyone, alone for 10 years, without a husband, without a brother, without a partner, without friends, with no one. I lost all my friends. Nobody speaks to me. Like, she's all alone. And then she's still open. She's still not bitter and angry and like, look, no, that's not a hallmark of evolution. For
Well,
them,
again,
that's a
yeah,
hallmark of like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
embarrassed by me, because they would rather me go push papers around in some governmental institution of I don't know, DMV. They would rather see me work behind the glass in a DMV booth, giving out driving license to people, than ever like walk on water.
Going for your dream.
If
Yeah.
I walked on water, they would be less impressed than if I worked at the DMV. That's how they are. They're like, they're the linear people of the linear people on the planet. Like, my mother worked her whole life. Imagine, her career was her choice her whole life. And we were always the collateral damage of that. And she says to me, like, I chose what I love, and my work was my love, my first love. So I replicated partners who were exactly that. Their love was their job and their career, and that was their baby. And I was the collateral damage of whatever happened in the background. And until I made that pattern conscious in me, I realized I created exact same alchemy that I had with my mother, who chose her PhD while she was pregnant with me in the stomach, embarrassed. And she showered me with hormones of shame, because she's going to her PhD thesis or whatever. She was doing some thesis, her diploma, in front of all this beautiful academic community. And I'm in the belly. And she's
Yeah.
ashamed that I exist.
Yeah.
And that alchemy kept replicating. I kept manifesting situations that were me being ashamed for being alive, me being rejected without being rejected. And neutralizing that aspect of me took 40 years. Because I kept manifesting people who kept rejecting me, and I rejecting myself in the process. And it was a toxic dance that just, I could have, I don't know, run 15 countries with energy that I wasted on trying to decipher why I'm rejected
What's
and why
happening?
am
Yeah,
I ashamed,
yeah,
being guilty. It's always on. And plus, ancestral trauma plays in always. And then you have the shit show inside, which is going, and you're like, I have no idea what's going on.
yeah.
So in all that, one thing that saved my life, and that was not my choice, Roma, when I was 15, somebody in the middle of the war zone took me to Maharishi Mahesh Yogi meditation class. And we were initiated into a TM and non-duality Advaita, non-duality, when I was 14 or 15 years old. And I remember I was meditating by the 1992, I'm meditating by the river, and everybody's making fun of me and joking. They're like, look at this asshole. She's going to have a nirvana here in the middle of the 7-Eleven. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Everybody was making fun of me. Like, she's like, look at that. Look at that pretense. Look at that. She's so obnoxious. So I remember being, even for meditating on the riverbank, you were already made fun of, because I was incarnated in a very dense community. New York and America, like different planet. Over here, I'm lucky if we have electricity over here where I'm right now. It's like very dense. Balkans have been always dense. It's 5,000 years of serfhood, of Ottoman Empire,
Yeah.
Austro-Hungarian Empire, all the empires, whoever came, invented any kind of, empire, came over here as a petri dish to test it. So we are ancestrally submissive and dormant and always like zombies on autopilot. So to awaken here, you disown yourself. Like I would see myself and I had self-loathing, like, who am I? What am I doing here? And then you see Kardashians and you see all these, keeping up with the Jonases, and they're all blossoming and flowering in their beautiful flower era. And I'm like in like a monk. Like it didn't make any sense. Okay, it didn't make any sense. I couldn't make it make sense for years. But now, as I see everything collapse, Roma, I think we are slowly gonna slide into an era
That
where
surely,
shores are
slowly
gonna
and
be,
surely.
yeah, we are slipping now into that wave of way showing.
Yeah.
We were carried, and we were always like a scum, how you call it, pond scum, somewhere periphery, marginalized. And now I have a feeling that we are entering an era where way showers are gonna be really, really taking over. They're gonna start. It's gonna be a new paradigm, way showers, and I feel it. There's no
Yeah.
knowing. There's no parameters on the other side that's showing me that right now for at least like what 5-10 years. But I feel it in me. That reality is so real that I often live outside of time, and I catch myself living like I don't know what month or year it is. And most of the time, I like today, I was thinking about your interview and thinking, oh, I'm seeing myself through my memories now. The interview, the live already happened. I already spoke to Roma. I feel it that I spoke to you already. And I'm like, I'm outside of time now. This
Yeah.
already happened. And I'm viewing myself through my memories. And I have to go in and come back to the present moment because I was outside of time. And it's outside of time, once you start losing that linearity inside and you start popping, bobbing in and outside of time, you will see that this, what we have been living, is going to be the only reality for this timeline, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you said the outside of time. So I always had, it was funny, a couple years ago, I had someone, friends visiting me from California, and they almost got mad at me because they couldn't understand why I'm always so confused about the time. I was this wise friend that everybody came for, support, advice, uplifting, empowering, different perspective, right? The wisdom.
Good name the day.
And they're like, but the simple things, Roma, just
Yeah.
simple things. You cannot remember what they like. What's wrong with you? The
Yeah.
same even with temperature outside. I don't
Uh-huh.
understand it.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah, yeah.
out.
Where you come from, it doesn't exist. You can't adjust to that.
So
Where
it's
you
so
come from,
weird.
it doesn't
Like if
exist.
you tell me it's 27, I'll be like, I don't know. Well, it's 17
Yeah.
Celsius. I don't know what that means. I need to go and
Yes.
feel it.
That's non-linear mind. You have non-linear mind because we were so outcast. They would call me Spectrum, HDCD. They would call me names. I was like, I don't have, because I had synesthesia when I was kid. You know, synesthesia.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I said to my mom, all the time has colors. And when you
Yeah,
say 2 o'clock, for me, it's a spiral with colors. I see colors and notes. So if somebody would say a Tuesday, I felt oranges. So I was connecting in like smell and color
beautiful.
and tone. Every tone has a different color and a scent.
Yeah,
So I could sense things that were completely non-linear and none of this, sense perception. And I could shift. I remember I would walk down the street and I had a good friend, like a bunch of friends. And I would say to her, do you guys also have, I was like 8. I said, do you guys also have worlds in your head? I have one world here, another world here, another world here. And they were like, what's she doing? What's she doing? I don't know. What is she doing? Like, shut the fuck up. But I was like, do you have worlds in your heads? That were dimensions. Because I couldn't differentiate which sense was registering it. If it's not touch, if it's not sight, if it's not taste, if it's not hearing, what is it that is registering the change of shift of perception? But it was actually dimensions.
yeah,
And sometimes it would be sometime ancestry. I would feel the ancestry is like, I literally see the entire dimension shift. And one is always inside of the other. It's always one inside of the other, like babushka dolls. So I remember seeing nonlinear thinking. It was like a plasma moving, always moving and connecting to the field. And I would say, okay, this is it. And I would bring in, my brain would try to register and then to convert into data like linear, and it couldn't. And I was like, leave it now, leave it now. We can't linearize that now. I cannot conceptualize it.
yeah.
So
It's
meditation for people like me is like freaking LCD 24/7. I cannot
Yeah.
smoke pot or do anything
Yeah. Yeah.
because I'm out of, for me, before meditation, I need to eat a half a kilo of food so I can stay indoors in the body.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I shoot out of the body. First second I have, I'm just full shooting out.
Yeah.
And when I had samadhi, nobody trained me for it. I didn't know. I'm like self-taught in everything. I never knew anything was going on. I had to Google it after. So
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
when I
There's
shot out of my body in samadhi, and my hands disappeared, my arm disappeared, my body, my legs, everything disappeared, and my identity just dissolved, and I became like, remember the Lucy movie, and she says, I'm everywhere.
yeah.
I looked around, and I didn't know if I'm looking at the tree or I'm the tree.
Okay.
I looked through the window. I couldn't say if I'm looking at the window or I'm the window. There is no otherness. It's singularity. You just break. And I was like, this is crazy. This is tripping. At one point, I left the body. You know how bodies are amazing. You know how it pulled me back so I wouldn't drift off and just go? My body, in that second, when I couldn't come back into the body, gave me a full-on ED, explosive diarrhea, on the mat. So I got huge explosive diarrhea and it pulled me back into the body.
Back. Okay.
So you see, it's not of our choice. It's not my choice to go break like a wave and go over there and just go these LCD trips or come back. But the DMT explosions in your brain will give you these nonlinear experiences, which are peak experiences, but they are so expansive. They are, imagine throwing a crystallized like plasma grenades in your mind. It's like just exploding everywhere. Once you start exploding these like mines, like grenades in your consciousness, there's just no going back. Absolutely no way going back.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. From I will remember one like the first one where I thought I'm like, okay, if I don't figure out what's happening, I'm gonna need to go check into the psychiatric
Yes,
ward.
yes, yes.
I was ready to be okay to go lock myself up
Yeah,
because what do you do with it? What do you
yeah.
do with this information? It's not like you
They
can share.
put me on meds. I did the same thing. I went to a psychiatrist and he put me on Seroquel. He put me on 3 types of how you call that? Those are special meds for anti-hallucinations.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
They put me on it. They are called, there's a special name for it. Seroquel is one of them.
Okay.
And
I
I took those pills. I remember I took one, some shrink gave me that. And I said, I think I'm having a spiritual awakening and I think I'm losing my mind. I can see non-physical forms. I can see the colors. I can see stuff in the air. Like I can hear the noises. Like I heard a bat. You're not supposed to hear the bat. They're above the threshold. And I told my dad I can hear bats. It's like, no, you're mistaken. Like I can hear shit. It's crazy. Like they're changing electromagnetic field. I can hear it. I can feel it. And I kept saying these things. They took me to shrink in 2012. And I ended up in emergency room. They took me to shrink. They put me on all these meds, psych meds. And I remember when I came to London, they carried me out of a plane on a stretcher because they gave me 2 pills you shouldn't be having inter.
together.
Uh-huh. And I had this like short fuse in my head, like killed me. Like they carried me out of BA in London on a stretcher. And then after that, I have my ex-boyfriend, one of my first, who baptized me in Greece. He called me and says, what are you doing? What are you doing? I feel you're not doing good. Because I don't know. I'm on psych meds. I'm losing my mind. I'm awakening. I'm spiritual awakening, whatever the fuck it is. It's 2012. It's like crazy. And he goes to me, I give you 5,000 euros. Come to Holy Mountain. I was like, okay, I'm there. So I sat on a plane. He had to bribe me to come there, So I went to the Holy Mountain and we went to the monks. And that was another level, next level. But these holy places, they have this effect of amplifying whatever is happening. It's like amplify. So if you're crazy and completely demonic and deluded and like million voices inside your head, they're probably going to get louder once you get there. But that whole experience was such extreme of like, I have a feeling I was just like a ping pong ball being thrown all over like the paddy board room. How to call those tennis that's play indoors. I was just bouncing all over every single wall I could find. I was just bouncing for a couple of years. It was extreme. It was very extreme. My parents, they were like, I don't know, they were like disowning me. They're like, we're gonna talk to you again. This cannot go on. No shrinks, nothing was helping because I had real spiritual awakening, like real one. And it's not for the weak, or how you call it, faint of heart.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I remember saying this to my sister. I said, are you fucking kidding me? Do you think I'm choosing this? Do you think I wouldn't have rather been Bird of Goodman on a shopping spree today on Fifth Avenue? Do you think I'm gonna be taken out on a stretcher on BA business class and then being taken to a holy mountain? Are you kidding me? And not knowing what my name is? Like when I got up from a CD, clinical death, I had like a drool for a month. Like I'm drooling. Like what? What? You know?
Oh, but yeah, because I said stuff like this to myself quite a few times. I remember as well. I was like, or even talking to someone, I was like, wow, I really, I wish I want to know now, be excited to go out for those drinks, to go out and shopping. And you
Yeah,
really like everything just like nothing makes sense anymore, you know?
yeah,
And it's interesting how 2012, because again, we're physically just catching up to that
yes,
conversion.
yeah,
I slept literally in the bathroom on the floor for almost 6 months
yeah,
because
yeah,
I couldn't.
yeah.
That was
You were
such,
dying.
that was the
Your
only safe
identity was
place.
dying. It
I
really
would
did.
literally in the evening at this point I started in bed, but it kept continuing every night that in the evening I would make my like I would go to bed, but I would already make a bed in the bathroom because at some point in the middle of the night I would just walk in there. That's the only place I could actually breathe. I just couldn't breathe anywhere. It just was weird.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I had those. Like I had extreme OCDs. I still do it because I live in a really old house. My great great grandparents built this house many years ago, and he was in the First World War and before the First World War. Every war there was some grandfather was there of mine. Like they were all like crazy, stupid people that never knew how to be peaceful or go some awakened way into some normal life. But wherever there's slaughter, there they are. So he built his house as a gift after First World War heroism, whatever. He was on the front in down in Greece in 1914, 1917, somewhere there. So he got this house as a gift and money and land. So he built and he had he was a capitalist later on. He built stuff here. But all of the handles everywhere are brass.
Okay.
And this house has a lot of trauma generally because in the First World War and Second World War in this house, they were hiding. If the Catholics were ruling, they were hiding the Orthodox here. If the
Okay.
Orthodox were ruling, they were hiding the
Yeah, yeah,
Catholics.
yeah.
If the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Communists were ruling, they were hiding the faithful, the Christians. If the Christians were ruling, they were hiding the Jews. Some always was somebody hiding someone in this house, in the like a lot of trauma in this house where I live now. And I'm transmuting for some reason. But when the minute I moved to this house, I started opening all the handles unconsciously with my feet. And my parents were like, "Why she moved here?" And every time I have to enter the door, I take my foot and I touched all the handles, either with I had to had something to touch it with toilet paper, completely unconsciously, or with my feet. Why? Later I realized I couldn't touch brass. It was a
Interesting.
conduit. It was conduit of some sort, of so strong for me to touch. Every time I touch brass, I would get like
Golden. Yeah.
inundated with things I didn't want to feel. So you can ask my parents. I've been every time I live here and I'm with them or I'm visiting or whatever I'm doing, I'm never touching the handles. Like the brass handles of anything that's brass in the house, I'm not touching. And everybody knows that. So it's either toilet paper or there's something on it or a handle of some sort or a glove or I cannot. It was really strange because when you wake up, you became, I became such a conduit of everything.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Especially if it was some really strong conduit outside, like iron or brass or something. I started feeling stuff and I I couldn't fight it. It became overwhelming. It just became overwhelming.
Yeah, the conduit as well. I would become very nauseous if
Yes,
I'm
yes,
just even in a
yes,
company that is a little bit like
yes,
that is
yes.
more
I would open the car and vomit and close down. Yeah, yeah.
and I would always vomit in the cars, by the way. I think just the engine itself just
Yeah.
would mess. Yeah,
Like
and
somebody, I remember somebody would walk out of the car and go to the graveyard. And I told them, somebody whose parents lived a genocide and Armenian genocide. And it was in the Middle East. And I said, I remember saying, if we can bypass these things, let's bypass them. And they didn't. And I remember he's coming out of the graveyard. He's opening the car. the door, I'm in the back seat. As they sit in the car, I'm going.
Yeah.
The minute that energy came into the car, you
Yeah.
literally can feel it. So uh, becoming a barometer of these things. I don't know how you say it in English, but a barometer of,
Yeah. Yeah.
the
I can,
pressure.
like,
You're
yeah.
always, all people are, just most people have their bodies and their minds and their beings suffocated with so much programming and so much debris,
Yeah.
debris,
Yeah.
debris of absolute nonsense,
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
materialism and consumerism, or mental garbage, mental debris, that the real being that should be that barometer, that's, you know,
Because
feeling it,
yeah, because
experiencing, it's not,
yeah,
cannot,
yeah,
can,
because I was sharing with my uncle in Lithuania, right? So we're very close right there. So
yeah,
when you talk about dense
uh-huh,
energy in
dance,
the
dance
country,
spot.
yeah, that's right there. And when you talked even about your houses, the same, like
I think you guys are even towards Ukraine. I think it's even denser. I don't think
they
there's denser place like Poland in Ukraine as far as the conflict and dense communities.
yeah,
That's, I think
yeah,
it's
it's
one of
yeah,
the
it's a lot.
densest in the world.
Correct. And yeah, so all of these experiences, again, a lot of times you don't like the mind cannot wrap around on the
Mhm.
top of it. It's not like we had knowledge, right? It's not like
Yeah.
we comprehend what's happening.
Yeah, yeah.
Yet
Now we have more knowledge
now,
from each
yeah,
other. Yeah.
now it's like, the awareness is there, the remembrance
Uh-huh.
is there. Yet before the remembrance, yeah, you really feel like my mom at this point kept saying to everyone that I am too weak and too sensitive for this world. She kept telling, I
Yeah,
remember her talking while we were little. My
the
sister
same.
is younger, 4 years younger, right? But she was like, she's a Leo. She was always
Uh-huh.
like, tough, right? Like
Mhm.
whatever and not emotional, right? She's more like of avoidance used to be, right? Like she'll like
Mhm.
not gonna go for, and for me, everything. I would mom it if I had more. She told me if the house would have more people, right? If
Mhm.
there are guests in the house, I
Mhm.
would scream hysterically. I would just
Mhm.
scream until people leave the house,
Mhm.
and constantly vomiting. The light. If in the
Yeah.
evening, the light, I
Yes.
tell
Yes.
my
Yes.
mom that it's burning my skin. If the
Yes.
light falls
Yes.
on my skin, I would literally feel the burn.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and she
Where
would be
you
like,
come from, these things, the families of consciousness and the environment we come from in the higher densities, absolutely have no experience reference point for the human condition.
yeah,
And that merging gets what you lands you into the outcast, on the spectrum,
yeah,
weird, strange, stigmatized, what's wrong with her. It's exactly that trait of your cosmic, of your absolute cosmic origin, that is
yeah,
telling you,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
so much. It's
yeah,
like if you were from Aqua, like I was very connected for some reason, and in my visions, it's all my childhood is somewhere around Fort Lauderdale. Lauderdale.
okay,
You know why?
okay,
I couldn't pronounce that place. I couldn't pronounce it, but
interesting.
I was connected absolutely with it.
I
And
lived
later
there.
I realized that's Atlantis.
I
That's
li-
Atlantis.
yeah, I
Like
did live there. It's
I
funny.
had visions. I had visions of a cocoon. You know the movie when they're lifting from.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
says
yeah,
we
yeah.
need to pick up our own. And I remember every time I look up in the stars, I say, home, home. I felt nostalgia every time I look at the stars. I'm like, home. Thank you, you exist. Thank you, home, home. Like I'm in a jail here and just trying to, do my time and just go out home, back home. But imagine how strong that is and how we dismiss it, and we are like, no, no. I went to a really strict schools, traumatizing schools like gymnasium, Latin, French, Greek, all that. 4 years of extreme abuse, psychological abuse in 4 years of high school. And 4 years in high school, I went in a war zone. No electricity, no water, no running water. I would get electricity once a month, complete darkness, and you're burning whatever you can find. You're always cold, you're always wet in the winter, and you're always hungry. That was my recollection of my teenage years. That's where my persona was formative years, when I was defining myself as a human being, as an identity, as an ego. I went 4 years hungry and Like inside a war zone, embargo. What can you do?
Yeah.
But after that, refugee status everywhere I went. It's like, yeah, we don't want you here. Get the fuck out. That was my repeated experience. We don't want you here. Who are you? Oh, oh, you're from a third world country war zone. Who are you? Get the fuck out. I would show up somewhere. They would say, "You didn't shave your legs." Ha ha! Look, she didn't shave her legs. I like ridiculed constantly for not being able to catch up with human mind. Always being put on the spot for not being able to behave in a way the human linear mind commands, and
And that's
always
how, listen,
around,
and that's how the diamonds are forged.
yeah, there's no other way. It's forging.
Yeah.
And New York after that, 6 years of Greece. And in Greece, I remember I was hit in the head by a grown man so strong that knocked me cold. And still, after that, I couldn't find an ounce of hate or resentment inside of me. It's like I told my friend, I had a fight with a friend recently because I told her I have unconditional love. So if I would catch my husband on top of another woman, I would say, enjoy it. I cannot comprehend, like, you're mine and this is mine and this is what love is. For me, apparently, always has been, if I love someone, I want him to do whatever the fuck he wants to do. That's what love is. And I never said, like, I couldn't, it bothered me if he was doing it probably on some human level, but I couldn't hold resentment. So somebody would hit me like a crochet and knock me cold and blew my, twice, blew my, how you call that, eardrum open, like,
Eardrum. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. And after that, I would get up and like go buy him a new nice warm slippers for Christmas. Not because I was submissive or dumb, just because I realized that what he does is his and what is mine is mine.
well,
And I
again,
would remove
yeah,
myself. I would remove myself from the situation. I left. I moved to another country.
correct. Yeah,
But I never resented him for it. What in
yeah.
my on my conscious level, subconsciously maybe, because I don't know what dog is down there in the basement. But on this conscious level, I've tried to trace myself of hating people and dismissing people and really trying to be bitter and angry as far as, sometimes it happens, but I'm trying to find that, and I realize that the most intelligent people, the most enlightened people in the world are two things. They're really very open and they're very monogamous. And I've realized that is that narrowing of your experience of the 3D in one point. You pick your person, you pick one person, and you invest all your quanta of energy into growth and into expansion and into that, not going around like chasing heavy skirts that walk down the way. So a lot of things kind of erase themselves in your life to begin with. I have a friend that says they are not even in my hologram anymore.
Yeah,
Literally, your
yeah.
frequency changes so much that those people are not even your hologram. And then you catch yourself, and people ask, why can you be in a celibate for 5 years? I'm celibate for 5 years. It's
Yeah.
not my choice. They don't attract me. What can I say? I cannot just, sleep with someone because the prettier the face and the more vanity because I can see the codes in a person, the codes that get activated when I engage with them. These codes are registered by me. And for me, it's a huge turnoff. When I see a man that is investing time and money and effort into his physical appearance, for me, that is such a turn off, Roma. I cannot even tell you how big turn off that is.
See, for me, that's why I never was even able to explain, a lot of times girlfriends will be like, what is your type? And then everybody, even my mom, laughs at me like, you really don't have a type. I really have zero image of my partners or friendships. I just have always a knowing. I meet them and
No.
I know I gotta walk with them. It's never for me like it has to be forever. It's never for me it has to be this way. I just know there is a path together that we're walking side by side, and I never have an expectation of how it's
Yeah.
supposed to look or work
How
out.
you
Really, there are types, and the bodies, like you say, I had a 300 pounder, and then the next one was
Yeah,
60.
yeah, yeah. And next one is like a leprechaun.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
16.
like
He was like tiny, tiny guy down to my hair. And he was like, I don't know, he was like 95 pounds, like tiny little dude. And then just before him was 300-pound sumo wrestler. It's like, how do I get these
how
people?
do yeah.
It's
Because
a
again,
circus. Do I go into circus to fish them out? Like, where do you find these people? They're opposite of each other.
yeah, we connect through the soul.
Yeah.
That's why for me as well. this
Yeah,
image, it doesn't do much.
yeah.
It doesn't really subtract or add value, zero judgments. There is a connection,
Uh-huh.
and then that's
It
it.
has
There's
to
no
play
questions
out. It
asked.
has to play
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. And at this point, that's where we both very same, like you say. I dive. I simply on a free
Yeah,
fall. I don't need to answer my mind. I don't
yeah,
worry if my mind is going crazy and asking me
yeah.
questions. It's like
Yes.
you can ask questions. I don't have them.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Papaji, Papaji said that he was like the biggest teacher of Ramana Maharishi and Ramana Maharishi of Adams and of Paramahansa Yogananda. He's like the biggest of non-duality of Upanishads and the Eastern traditions. Papaji. He's one of the biggest of the biggies after Buddha. And he said, he kept saying, mind is this, mind is this, mind is like, don't define the mind. Don't bother with the mind. Doesn't matter what the mind is doing.
Yeah.
You are not the mind. But it's pulling me, but it's blaming me, but it's shaming me, but it's doing this. I'm telling now, I talked to my sister today. I was like, you are not the mind. It doesn't matter what the mind is doing. The minute it starts, shit show, observe it. But again, observe it. But again, observe it. When you do it enough times, the shit show will start going
You go,
without
yeah.
you.
You're
And
gonna
the,
neutralize
the
it.
midgets will start a nine circle circus and the Cirque du Soleil. When I was in New York, people called me Cirque du Soleil. My fiance, his nickname for me was Cirque du Soleil. You can
Okay.
ask him, whoever knows him, if he ever sees this video. There is, he called me Cirque du Soleil, and my friends call me Ice Age Squirrel. You know the Ice Age Squirrel that just is running through the screen, always chasing the acorn? Yeah, Ice Age Squirrel. So always like, always running around. And that was the mind, escaping the self, because the self was drowning, and you're escaping the self. So Papaji says what you just said. Doesn't matter what my mind is doing. It's enough to know that you're not the mind. Doesn't matter what it's doing, what it's saying.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's exactly what you said. Yeah.
yeah, Helena. And at the end, as there is a different views with every consciousness up leveling, right? With every initiation.
Yeah.
So yeah, the initiation might feel like a contraction. It's the integration of the
Yes. Yes.
work that you've done, or stabilizing that next level and so on. And then at this point, it's hilarious how vividly I see the thought patterns
Mm-hmm.
of the collective, and I know they're not even mine. Even the thoughts are not mine.
Yes.
If
Yes.
I am I'm right now in my mom's house, right? And I'm visiting for a little bit longer than usual. Wow, it's hilarious. I literally woke up yesterday and something came up, and I
Mhm.
was like, oh, that is so much of my mom's, and she's
Yes.
not
You're in her space.
in Florida. But
You're in her space now.
I was like,
You have
oh,
psychometry. You have
like,
psychometry. You are picking up of every single imprint of her thought on that pillow you're sleeping behind you. You're sitting
absolutely.
on her chair. You're picking up
Absolutely.
all
And
the
yeah,
imprints.
yeah. So especially that I'm able to, I was in Lithuania with my aunt and uncle, right? And remember, we talked from, we
Mhm.
kept chit-chatting. So the same. Suddenly I'm adopting the theme of their
Yes.
being. And
Uh-huh.
it's such a, and it's beautiful when you're aware. You can
Uh-huh.
kind of like, I even told you, right? A few months in, I was like, okay, I feel like shifting the environment a little
Uh-huh.
because you alchemize it, then alchemize it. And at some point, it's like,
And
okay.
sometimes they feel like cobwebs. It's like,
I was like, yeah, I
these
was like, yeah,
cobwebs.
yeah,
I
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
get
yeah.
them
I
out
get
of
you.
here.
Absolutely. And it does feel like, because you're very aware of your own
Uh-huh.
baseline energy and frequency. And then, especially when you become aware of your own energy, you can vividly see what's
Uh-huh.
coming in. You feel it so
Yes.
strongly. You're like, oh, that's
Yeah.
not Oh, wow, it's hilarious.
What was a game changer when I started doing work with Ashayana Dean work? It was a
Love
game
her,
changer
love
for
her,
me.
love her.
So I would go in and I started playing games with chakras, and I didn't know that had so much power.
Okay,
So basically,
elaborate.
consciousness from outside, from everywhere, like we're all one field. Like you don't stop where your skin stops. You don't stop when your aura stops. You just continue for miles and miles. You just don't know it. I remember when I was walking with my cousin and with my nephew years ago, and it was he needed to play a football game, And I was back then in a really deep state of extreme psychopumping and creating that with after Roxanne, Earth 1111. She like woke me up like 10
I
years
love
ago.
her. Yeah, 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 yeah. Roxanne.
So
Roxanne, we saying hi to you, even if you
yes,
don't.
this is hi
She's
Roxanne.
in the field.
I was activated in 5, 6 years ago immensely by Roxanne,
Amazing.
okay, and by Taylor Craig. I'm Taylor Craig. She activated me like exponentially. But I remember that Roxanne was telling us how she, at that time, she would show us the portals she was opening in cloud layers that are very low that you can reach sometimes. And I started experimenting with that. And one day I was going with my little nephew, and it was raining. Whole June 2023 was raining. Entire every day was raining, entire June. And I said, I'm going to open some sky for you today. Let me try that. And I started playing with these things, blah, blah, blah. And we really opened it. Like above our heads, there was a circle of blue sky. And he came home and said, Mom, you had to see this. Auntie opened, Auntie opened the sky above our head for our football game. And like, no matter how delusional I sounded to everybody, on my knowing that on one level, even if only I could see it, I knew that
Yeah,
that was reality for me. So
yeah,
we don't stop at your skin level. You don't stop at your room level. You don't stop at whatever the little identity, cage identity is intended to keep you encaged in. But as this consciousness wave, it's a scalar wave, meaning it's not linear, it's radial, it's just moving. Uh, every time it goes through our neurological tissues, it becomes a mind. So if you take this, like imagine like a little how you come and you saw something. You know when you want to put two metals together, so you put this little thing.
yeah, yeah. Like
Sawing.
we'll call it fuse. I don't know.
Yes,
I
fuse.
know what you
You
mean,
put this
but
thing. Your consciousness, your focus is like that little flash thingy that is putting things together, and it's channeling all of the consciousness into, let's say, one stream, condensed stream. If you put that consciousness directly onto your pull that consciousness directly pull it into your first chakra, into your wheel of light, wheel of life, first on that frequency, that becomes the mind. So now you have a mind on that frequency. So your chakra becomes your first mind. It's not some column, it's not some random thing spinning. It's not that, it's your mind. Dispenza talks about it a lot, often. He says you have one mind that is red color, one Muladhara, then you have orange one, you have the solar plexus one, you have a heart, overheart, throat, fifth eye, sixth chakra, third eye, crown, cosmic, up, earth star, it's all there. These are minds. If you connect your consciousness with these frequencies, colors of visible spectrum, they become your mind. So you start gathering information. They're generators and expenditure of energy. They're spending energy on that level. You get completely different experience. Like when I meditate and I, with my root chakra, the Muladhara, I do a lot of bands, meaning, when you're condensing your muscles on the bottom of your pelvic floor,
yeah,
it's very
yeah.
good for regulating energy. That's very good. Do it all the time as much as you can. That's how I regulate my energy flow always. If I'm standing somewhere, I'm just clenching or releasing. So I activate down the red color, red wave, right? And I grow roots. Once I
Love it.
grow roots, I feel my hands go like this. They go like I have plugged myself into electricity. I cannot control mudras. I cannot control my hands anymore. I have such a high voltage of electricity going through my hands that my hand going like this. Like I have put myself into the socket. If somebody's, I'm going to put a camera to videotape one time, because when I do it, my entire left side, which is streaming that high stream of high voltage, imagine what conduits we are, just
Yeah,
because I connected my Muladhara with roots with the geomagnetic morphogenetic field of planet of my mama. That's my mama. I was created from her. I didn't come from the sky. So I was created through her, from her.
amen.
From her morphogenetic field. We are created from her. That's where we come from the SGs. We come from the morphogenetic portals where, and then on this frequency of integration, fetal integration, we are integrated during the first fetal integration is first 4 cells that are always stem cells, your cells that are always contained in your tailbone. That's where you start growing, sprouting. But it is when they say we are all connected, we are not connected. Of course, we are not connected. There's nothing to connect. It's all one. There's nothing to connect. We are all connected. We are not
Bro.
connected. What the fuck? Why am I connected to my hand? It's my hand. I'm not connected to my hand. I'm one with my hand. It's my hand. So, people who are listening, and me and you, they're absolutely different aspects of one and the same consciousness of ultimate reality. And we are in that
All it is.
dance to make each other conscious. There's nothing
Absolutely.
else to it. It was just widening the spectrum of register of information, of experience. Nothing else. We're just
Collecting the quantum.
widening. From the times where they say we evolved from Ponscom. You were never a Ponscom. You don't evolve from Ponscom. We came here with 20, 25 DNA strands. 25 DNA strands in 25 dimensions of consciousness. And then one mathematician wrote to me yesterday on my post, enough with your bullshit. And every time I post something about consciousness, he writes, enough with your bullshit. Yeah, it's such a strong cognitive dissonance of people who know that there is so much more out there, and yet there's such a fear.
Well, yeah, I would like to share my interpretation. Yeah, right there. Um, because for me, it was such a beautiful clarity and really collapsed so many desires, I will say, structure of desires to help people or to awaken. Because it all is at the same time, it all exists, meaning
Uh-huh.
the truth of this being that is only seeing and projecting through his own universe, through his own
Yeah.
lens of the 3D, the matter, that is absolutely his truth.
Yes. Yes.
While the other truths exist as well, because again, it's all happening at the same time.
Yeah.
So I think one of my older posts said that, anything you did live through, anything you experienced in that moment you experienced, it was true.
Yeah.
Not because it's a universal fact or something like this, but just because, again, that was me projecting it out, right? It's my
Yeah.
it's the movie. So the same like even yesterday, right? Post like oh, it's in the genes. And up until now, if I talk to someone that is not remembering their power,
Mhm.
right? We just talked to someone that at 18-year-old is already having the same issues that the grandma has. So,
Mhm.
oh, it's in her genes, right?
Yeah.
That's a
It's always. Yeah.
member. Yeah,
Yes.
it's like family friends, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And so they're right there. Versus when I hear it, it's in my genes. Oh, cool! I can speak to the genes. Period.
Yes.
It's
Yes. You
the
speak to
same
your
book.
DNA like you would to your kids.
Yeah, the same book, the same movie,
Yes.
same sentence,
People don't understand. There is
but we can see differently, all of us. Yeah,
350 billion trillion cells in your body. Hear only one voice. They think you're God.
yeah,
If you tell
yeah.
them every day beautiful things, every day speak to your cells like you would, like like a priest would speak to a congregation. They're
Yeah.
listening, they're clinging on to your every word. Every one of your cells is a holographic fraction, fragment, image of exact same universe that you're part of. So
Amen.
whatever is God, you think God is for you, you are for your cells.
Yeah, yeah.
So everything we have in our every one of you, as you said, 23,000 genetic elements that go into building up a genetic uh, chain and DNA chains, and you are actually expanding to 144,000.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about it better than Shayana Dean and energetic synthesis that took over in 2000s. I remember I didn't know what Lisa Renee was. Something popped up in
Okay,
my
okay.
feed, and I started binge eating. I was eating like food, like I couldn't get enough. I would people like, what's she doing? I would sit 18 hours a day listening to Lisa Renee. Like it was, I cannot explain to you. Like I was
Yes, yeah,
thirsty walking in a desert my whole life, and suddenly there's water. Every word was opening in me entire worlds. It's like this is it. This is it. This is it. This
under
is where I come from. This is who I am. How crazy can it be that I can go a whole life without hearing this woman exists, these people exist? This is a
Yeah.
reality. And I thought I was supposed to be a waitress, in a dive bar in East Village. That thought that was my life. And then I was gonna marry a rich dude and be a trophy wife. And he was sitting one day when we were engaged and cutting his dinner and said, "We're gonna have 3 kids if that's okay." And he continues eating. It's like, that's my life. We're
Helena,
gonna
I
have
think,
3 kids.
oopsie, oopsie.
As
And
if you're sure, if you want to order a gender too, I can bring you a drink with that order. If you want a music wish with it as well, I can perform. So that the trajectory. When I was 18, my mom said to me, "Why don't you go to be a model?" Me, a model? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I'm antithesis of everything of that. I hated it, but I went to see what it looks like. And I went to a toothpaste commercial because I went to Elite Model Look and all that bullshit. That was like pimping of women. It was like modeling always was and always will be a very high class prostitution, nothing else. And no one can ever persuade me in opposite. Anyway,
okay,
so they're pimping these girls in Eastern Europe everywhere, all dudes lined up watching them in bathing suits. It was like a whole humiliation ritual. It was a shit show, horrible. But anyways, I lived through it to experience it. And I walked out like 6 months later. I was like, bye, this is not for me, game over. But I tried it. And I remember first time in Greece, I showed up for this audition for a Colgate or toothbrush commercial. And they're like, take your clothes off. I'm like, but it's toothpaste commercial. No, no, don't worry, take your clothes off. And that was going to be trajectory of my life, like it was for a billion people before me.
yeah, yeah,
I was like, something inside of you is screaming so loud to a point when you no longer, it's not screaming. It's like you cannot hear anything else. It's deafening. And that happened in 2012. It's like I told you, I was at that time, I was just going deeply into like partying. I entered the phase of
yeah,
partying, island hopping, Mykonos, Sardinia, wherever. My friends had the plane and we were just partying. And I realized something was happening when I started driving these girls to these parties, my friends, and then sleeping. I would drive to the party, sneak out, and sleep in a car. And I started sleeping in cars on parking lots. There was something strange when you are driving people around, because I don't drink. So I would drive people around and sleep in cars on parking lots. And that was the epitome of my pinnacle of my day, that I could sleep in a car, on the back of a car, and that freedom. So feeling guilty for being always coded differently, feeling guilty as there was something we can do about it. And if anyone is hearing this that is feeling that they are coded differently, not in a woke kind of way, like in America, like I'm transgender, wake up in the morning, identify as a porcupine, not that. Like no identity, not in that sense. The dude on BBC that identified as a broccoli. Like that's weaponized. That's
yeah,
weaponized.
that's what, yeah,
Beautiful premise. It's weaponized against us. But like people who know they are coded differently. Probably you're holding a 9 to 5 job. You're as ordinary as one can get. But you know what really strikes me strange? I watch millions and millions of Roma of these videos on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know. I don't have Facebook. I never had Facebook. But I will see all these videos of these parents, endless stream of parents dancing in the kitchen, dancing in the kitchen, dancing in the kitchen. And I'm thinking, you all have babies. You're not awakening. You're entertaining. Okay, that's fine. But you have all these babies, and we are going down the timeline of absolute certainty that there is going to be a hybridization of some sort between AI, machines, toasters, and people. And we are going in that direction. There's no doubt. There are no two ways about it. We are and I see it. I've seen it with my eyes. I've seen it. Outside of time space, there is a timeline that already happened this way. We
yeah,
are heading one timeline of consciousness on the planet of reality, descending timeline, is going absolutely into a direction of hybridization. And you have 4 million people in America, 50 million people in America dancing in their kitchens. And I wonder, is it responsibility in the people who want to enslave humanity only? Or they're doing you a service? Because if they don't show you where you don't have power, how will you know you don't have power? If you are faced with something that's so real in the collective, everywhere, especially in America, complete collapse of the system and the society, and all you can do, today I saw like 4 girls that have 850,000 followers each, and they pop up. I will purposely go to see them, to what they. And one is a dancer that has twin babies. She's dancing in her kitchen for like 3 years in a row. Every morning she dances in her kitchen to 55,000 people And my videos about awakening of consciousness have 2 views a video. And I'm like, this is good that it's happening. It's showing you who you are. Nothing shows you better who you are than what response you get. So I'm thinking you all have children. We are going into hybridization of humans and machines. Everything is pointing. Peter Thiel and all that crowd that's coming up with the AI, they're talking about antichristic, complete enslavement of humanity. They talk about it openly. Nobody's hiding it anymore. And then you have half of humanity dancing in their kitchen in their pajamas, like we are on a this cruise ship that is like just like going sailing onto the sunset of La La Land forever. It's like you have to ask yourself: is there a capacity? We are not wired for unity consciousness. I have a feeling in this point in time, and I came like 4 times of this to this 3D. This is the 4th life I can remember. Every time I have a feeling, are we wired? Have we reached that? I can joke about it. We can have fun, but have we reached the critical mass, or have we reached the potential in our own consciousness to be wired for the shift? Are we even wired for the shift? Do we have
I
infrastructure,
love.
organic, energetic infrastructure to carry the shift out? We don't. We are
Okay,
still
yeah.
basic.
So I love where you went right now and how I see it. Um, okay. First of all, before every collapse, and we already know it,
Yeah.
right? We've seen
Rising circuses. Yeah.
right before the circus becomes so ridiculous. So I can see the circus amplifying.
Mm. It is. Yeah.
Hence, that is one of the signs because
Yes.
the laws become more ridiculous. Everything becomes way more ridiculous, like
Uh-huh.
ridiculous that you don't know if to laugh, if to cry, right before every
Yeah.
collapse. That's literally what does happen. Another thing is this
But
for me.
why does it repeat without evolving out of it?
So again, I don't know how much for your like your remembrance yet. It is the last 4 seating, right? And it is
Yes.
the last time. And in my interpretation, again, the mass, what do you call it? So the yeah the percentage that we were supposed to reach. So and
Critical mass. Yeah.
the critical mass, the unfolding can happen. We did. We only needed around 8 to 10%, and we had
8%.
those. Hence, everything is unfolding. Other than that, it wouldn't be unfolding. Yet, for me, the people that are not, let's say, choosing the expansion, it is absolutely again. It's like you said. You don't really, you don't really have a choice. The choice was made way before you came. You
Yeah.
took on
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
structure.
Yeah.
So for me, what they're doing, they're actually stabilizing the old, and the old has to be stabilized for us
Yeah.
to be anomaly. Where am
Yeah.
I going to be anomaly if there is
If
nowhere to
everybody's, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
anomaly? You get it?
Yeah.
So, and a lot of those souls or fragments of so whatever they're choosing to be or express themselves through are not choosing to move into our
Yeah.
timeline. The other thing is this: the have we wired for unity? It's you can look really fast and be like, no. Yet let's remember this unfolding is not it's not linear as well. It's not
Mhm.
fucking linear.
Mhm.
Like we can sit today right here and then wake up tomorrow and it's fucking done because
Yeah.
it is already done. It's just physicality
Yeah.
is catching up with it. In my interpretation as well, if we were 8 billion, I don't know, by we will into the Eden and the heaven, the anchoring and the stabilization when happens, I feel like there will be way less of
Yeah.
us either way,
Yeah. Yeah.
because because
A
some
lot
of us
of people are
older,
leaving the body because they cannot carry the frequency
they
anymore.
cannot carry the frequency either
Yeah.
way. Hence, even for me, let's say, everything what happened in 2020, right? Like
Mhm.
there are many had to go
Yeah.
because their bodies either way would just
Yeah.
explode, right? Like you
Yeah.
can't anchor the such a intense light
Intense. Yes.
because it's more information, it's more light. It's even
Yes.
for us, like even for me, I'm in general in a huge harmony for years in my body. I haven't seen doctor for 23 years, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Yeah, absolutely. for sure. Yeah. I will feel like through
Yeah,
the like
fluctuation.
fluctuation of energy, like things gonna come in for me.
Yeah,
It's just even weird, right?
yeah.
Another funny thing, like my mom has a right knee that constantly like aches for her. She's not here. Me being here, my
Yeah.
right knee
Yeah,
aches, right?
always.
So
Yes,
I was like,
1000%.
wow, I'm trans. I
Yes,
took it from,
yes,
I'm trans. Yeah.
yeah.
So even
If somebody's in a room has vertigo, I start getting dizzy. I literally,
so,
literally mirror. That's psychometry. That's telepathy. You are now becoming a living, breathing
correct.
radar. You're like reading everything. I don't even know how to. You're like a barcode reader. All day long you're 00100101110. The codes are running, and so
Yeah.
for me the best part, Roma, I love it now that I can see it in people, and I love that.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I see people now and I just feel this, this piece, the person feels like a hot bath, this person feels like a nice piece of milk chocolate, this person feels like a warm blanket, oh, this person feels so good. Or dissonant. I can't. I'm sorry. Hey, can I see you later? Somebody was coming over. I was drinking coffee, and she's like, can I sit? I was like, I'm listening something, please. So I have now my phone. Whenever people are coming over to talk or say something, I just pull out the phone. I'm sorry, on the phone. I'm not going to call because there's no other way for that dissonance anymore to be bridged with niceties, with politeness.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I
Before I
never
could sit on a phone for 3 hours, listen to some
nice.
bullshit. I really didn't. I was just being polite. I remember one time I got a bill of like a $2,000 bill because some woman was telling her life story to me, and I was too polite to say. It's like it's that joke that it's, there was a meme that said I'm going to another town because I was too polite to ask for a driver to get off at the stop. So he he went to another town because he was too polite. I was like one of those people. Like I
Yeah,
was so scared of my own like codes that I will just keep quiet and just be whatever I can blend into be invisible. Like absolute a subconscious desire to always be
for sure.
invisible for
Yeah.
everything.
Well, again, be nice, right? Like look at the
Yeah, be
itself.
nice, be nice, be polite. Didn't care what I felt, just as long as you're polite.
That's why I don't even I very rarely will utilize word nice. I don't really, unless I'm saying it about the closing, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
oh, this is nice. Okay.
This is
Yet
nice.
I would not dare to say be nice to someone because again,
Uh-huh.
be nice, it only means fit in.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all.
Be authentic. Now everybody, I guess, gets it at this point.
Not authentic, not honest, not, I always ask, how kids are straightforward, so we'll ask questions that are again, if the neighbor came in and and the husband is not there and they're getting divorced, right? Like I was like,
Uh-huh.
so what happened to, I'm gonna just ask, and my mom would be like, shh, not a nice question to ask, be nice, don't ask these
Uh-huh.
so
You're
nice.
constantly reprimanded for being yourself.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Learn not to be yourself.
Yeah, so for me, nice or polite, it's selling out not only on yourself, but it's selling out on this other person.
Yeah,
Because if I see someone else too weak to handle what I'm gonna say, I see you weak. So I'm
uh-huh.
already holding you at that base,
Yeah,
or not capable, right, to handle or to comprehend me or to understand me
yeah,
or to under whatever that is. So I always will choose to be kind, and kind will be straightforward. It can even feel like being rude because a lot
yeah,
of people will be
yeah,
like,
yeah,
you're rude. Yet it's even in my coding. I have a very effortless time saying very rude things and people don't take it as rude. I love it.
yes, yes. Because it's usually they say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. But the new thing that I always now, when we are more conscious and aware, of course, we have completely different vantage point. Now I see everything from a different vantage point. Now, if I was engaged in New York and living the beautiful life, I would take completely different advantage of it. I would
Yeah,
take my beautiful husband's funds and fund a beautiful school or a madrasa or some sort of retreat or something. I would create a completely different paradigm of how to use whatever is happening for me, reframe the experience, not against me.
correct.
Yeah, because now I have been up until recently, I was reframing always the experience as something that was happening against me, not for me. But
Right.
now when I deal with my family and friends, because I've completely transcended, like I literally had to block 5 closest people to me because I realized that I started having panic attacks every day for no reason because I joined a shamanic workshop, some bullshit that connected my energy with things I shouldn't be connecting my energy into and opening my doors to other people's energies into my living room and saying welcome without knowing. So 2024, I had to block 4 or 5 closest people, and there was a beautiful sentence I said, and I still love them. I love them. I don't speak to
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Of
I
course you do.
see them in the street, and I see them in front of my
100%.
hand. I tell them, my love is unconditional, but my presence is not
Yeah,
right now. And I say to them, and to my sister, I said recently, I said, I know that I will be able to connect with you once differently, once you stop seeing me and perceiving me through the filter of your wound. Luckily, I have dealt with my wounds, so now you don't trigger me anymore. I don't see that. I love you. No matter what you say, it's not putting me in danger. It's not obscuring me. It's not doing anything to me anymore because I heal that part. And I felt that release. I felt it.
and again they start mirroring, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's in delay because
Yeah.
physicality might have a little delay, right?
But
Yet,
now she's awakening and
yes,
I'm so
yeah,
happy. She's
yeah,
never
yeah,
she like I can see the difference. She was very intuitive as a kid, very intuitive, but then the men in her life came in and kind of completely make her linear. But she's an intuitive person. But now I see that she's coming back to her old self. So it does rub off. We are activators before anything.
for
I was
sure.
activated, I told you, by these women, by you, by 3, 4 very powerful activators. These are women like you. They speak. And even if the sound was off and you were just staring at the camera and I was looking at you and I felt that energy bouncing off of my screen, I would start getting activated. So you carry the codes like you have no choice. You have no choice. You just like walking through a super dark room with a little candle. And everybody's
No
like,
wonder.
you're waking us up. Shut the light down. Shut the light down. And you're like, I'm just going my way now. And you
No,
are lighting
listen.
the room with no reason.
Yeah, no wonder. My mom always used to call me walking trigger. You were just walking trigger. Like you're, I don't know, you're just walking trigger. You either trigger people or inspire, but like again, we're all that. Yeah.
Yes.
Either people
Yes.
are gonna pull in like this and suddenly like, oh, listen and
Yeah.
wanna touch you and be next to you and talk to you,
Yeah.
or people literally like
Mhm.
rearrange and like start moving forward like further, and like they can't walk in into,
Yeah.
yet I love this divine protection in a way. I
Yes.
can feel right away, like I will feel like almost divine apathy for suddenly things that I would assume, my mind would assume that like, oh, I loved it and I liked it and I loved the company of this
Yes.
person or
Yes.
this being,
Yes.
and then suddenly like I'll have an absolute apathy, like I don't care, and I will see them kind of like, we're just, even if we're trying to make an appointment to
Mhm.
actually hang out or talk or
Uh-huh.
connect, it can't happen. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. It
There
doesn't.
was there was a friend of mine, maybe she's gonna see this. We had abrupt breakup in July. Always a July 25, something happens to me. It's always I always have the same dates. On same date,
For
things
me, something happens for me.
yes, it's always January 7 and July 20. It's always the same day when the life decomposes or rebirth happens, whatever. But we had, and she was an opera singer. She's an opera singer. She's very dramatic generally.
Ah, okay.
But,
Yeah, yeah,
and we had this breakup. And she's a Leo, I'm a Leo. And she's extremely awake, extremely perceptive, extremely highly intelligent being. Like, that woman is like a powerhouse. Like she walks in and she's like detonating stuff. But if you every time we start to meet, like I came to her town to see her. I was here, let's say, for 12 weeks. She went to another town, we didn't meet. Then I went to LA. She came here. I went here. She went to LA. We kept missing each other without our choice for like 6 months. And I realized every time we make an effort to meet, we are crisscrossing paths and going in different directions. And that is intentional.
yeah.
Because when you finally find time to sit down, we had such a huge explosion in the bar restaurant. It was like flying stuff, screaming, like fighting, rah, 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 like a lot of drama. Like two Leos extremely triggered away because I probably saw aspects that I didn't like about my ego in me, in her. and she saw what she didn't like about herself in me. We are
Yeah.
too much mirroring each other. And that alchemy was too much for two Leos, double Leos, whatever. It was like, shh. But I know that everything that I didn't like, everything I don't like about myself is the first thing I notice in others. That's 100%. When I say why this person is not awakening, why they're not awakening, why they're awakening, I know that I'm blaming the part of my own mind, which is still in a linear cognitive dissonance, saying maybe you should go back to matrix, maybe you should, this is all like delusion, maybe you're just delusional. Like there is one aspect to you which is always like inner critic, and I tried to neutralize it for years and kind of disengage it, but I don't think it works that way. I don't think we can ever disengage aspects of our own consciousness.
So
So
go
the
ahead.
most powerful thing I've learned lately, which I love, that's absolute for me, I mean it's pinnacle of growth, is that when I fall in love with someone, it's enough for them to exist, that nothing else is needed. Like I'm in love with someone who just exists, and I don't want that person to be mine. I don't want to go to live together. I don't want to be having the toilet open when they're going in the bathroom, so I have to hear them go to the toilet. I don't want to do a lot of things that maybe will happen, maybe they won't. But idea that it's enough that they exist and the love is there, and then no possession is needed, no physical claiming is needed, or any proof is needed. It's just enough in and of itself. Love is in and of itself is enough. And it's not needed confirmation from any or validation from outside in any form. That person loves me or brings me flowers or hates me or has 15 children somewhere down the road. It's inside is so fulfilling that that is what I think they are trying, the system is trying to prevent. Once you become enough in and of yourself that you don't need anything from outside,
I love it. Yeah. And then
you're
suddenly you start
you're
getting everything from the
you're
outside.
getting dangerously close to
Yeah.
whatever that system was created on to prevent for 6 7 millennia.
Yeah. 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 And
Everything else is outsourced for 7 millennia, and now you say, well, I don't need anything, it's all within, and I for the first time I'm enjoying it.
so I will share something like personal, and it's because I in the beginning I couldn't understand it, and yet again it's such a clear information. So for years, right? Like I've never felt pretty. Like I felt cute, but I never counted myself as
You're so cute.
beautiful.
I never felt pity, I felt cute. You're
It
cute
was
to me.
like, yeah, like I could feel cute in my bestie moments. I was like, I know I am cute, yet never like beautiful and pretty and, and I really, my friends, most of my friends, even back in home in university, like gorgeous, just like modeling and,
Yes, yes,
yet for
yes.
me, like I felt like I am like kind of
The
duckling.
beautiful East European beauty that you don't
Duckling,
even
ugly.
understand it.
Yeah, so yeah, and it was very interesting because in romantic relationships per se, I was always the one that had serious offers that never needed to ask my boyfriend or my guy, like, are we dating? Are we serious? Is he
Uh-huh.
committed? Like it was just they were just
Given.
they were
You're
there.
given.
They were giving me, they were, I was the one girl that be like, oh no, no, not what do you mean the ring? We're not there. What do you mean moving in? They're offering, they're like giving me the
Mhm.
kiss, like that's it, you're my wife, like that. And I was like, I couldn't understand versus my gorgeous, beautiful friends, right?
Uh-huh.
I couldn't comprehend when I was younger, would constantly suffer with he doesn't commit, he doesn't commit,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
commit,
Yeah.
he doesn't commit.
I
And
also
now,
also have a relationship like that. Always committed, living with them, and very like, you are my wife now. Game over. I'm taking you to
yeah,
see
yeah,
mama.
yeah,
Like, the
yeah.
first date, you're
So
gonna go
like,
meet mama. That's it.
yeah, yeah. So even that, and then I saw it. I never like
You were
you
never attracted to players to begin with, right? You were
well,
not attracted to
like
players.
even see, even me feeling that I gotta walk with this guy a path. For me,
Uh-huh.
it was never an image of how it's supposed to look. I
Uh-huh.
never required
Mhm.
something from him. I was, like you said, we were just playing, right? Being. And I was falling into this, like I was letting myself fall fully
Yes.
and unconditionally. Meaning, if we end up all the 40 years together with 7 kids, amazing for me. If
Yeah.
we get to separate
Doesn't
months later,
great.
amazing for me.
Great.
If
Yeah.
we ever get to this point, amazing for me. I was fully present right there,
Yes.
right then with them.
Yes.
And really because I was never had a need, they're always offered me if the needy energy in general, right? Like it's like,
Yes.
wow,
Yes.
it's gonna repel.
Yes.
So like you say, like again, everything always it's
Things are always happening for you. I didn't know that. I told you I reframed everything. Why did I live in a war? Why did I pay university $100,000 and never use diploma? I could flip. I studied freaking Clinton. That's why I studied. I paid $100,000 to study a PDF file. You know what I mean? To study a PDF file who bombed my country because he couldn't get laid that night. So like it was all inverted. So I always tell people I speak to, I have a few students now, I say, for me, first 30 years of my life was walking in a, when you are not from this planet, you're not local consciousness. Because when I was 12 years old, I wrote a novel about my race of people who have no physical form. They're in a wave of pure energy and they're encoded in energy wave. They came here and I'm writing a novel about it. I'm 12 and I'm writing people encoded in a wave. Like, what are the odds? So I knew that I'm not non-local consciousness. I always kind of sensed it. And for first 30 years of my life, even men that I met and I dated were like that. You're mine and game over. I never chose them. They chose me. I never said no or yes because I was in the moment accepting in a presence 0 point field of allowance. So if that happened, it happened. It's like I live, that's great. I die, that's great. You're gonna live, great. You're gonna die, that's great. It was
yeah,
no preference.
yeah,
Now I
and
see that in a
yeah,
pattern. And when
I
these
love it.
men came, but looking back, a mind felt as though I'm in a house of mirrors that whole time. Everything was distorted because
Yeah,
my pattern of energy was different. And I was scanning from a different vantage point. I remember going to people like, I need 3 apartments, I need 2 cars, I'm getting a loan. I'm getting a loan to buy a new Birkin bag. I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And I was looking around, I was like, why I cannot fit in? Well, how can I wish a car or want a house? Or they're like, she's small town girl, she doesn't know what that is. She has no ambition. She's this. And when I graduated in New York, I started working on profit. Why did I work in nonprofit? Makes no sense. Nonprofit is a scam. And I remember my fiance, who was a millionaire, he said to me, oh, Helen, you work in nonprofit. You work in charity. You are a charity. That's how they treated me. Helena works in charity because she is a charity. So for me, everything was saying nothing added up. It was like, they're saying I'm a charity. I don't need anything they do. Why am I a charity? They need stuff. I don't need stuff. Charity, like people who need charity need stuff. The ones who don't need it, don't need it. So I felt as though I was in a, people who have different codes, they often feel as though they're in a house of mirror. You get to see a lot of distortion. You're basically, your brain works like autistic brain. Like
yeah,
you're a
yeah,
code
yeah.
breaker. You start recognizing only patterns. And for me,
Pattern.
pattern became only distortion. And I could spot a distortion out of 5,000 words. I could spot a fluctuation in frequency like a lie detector. And that was such a liability in everything. Because I would stand next to a kid that was when we were kids and she started lying and I would start being squirming like this because I could feel she was lying.
So you could
And
feel,
you
I
become
know, okay,
authenticity pick. You
yeah,
just, you know, like
yes,
everyone was pretending, doing whatever was inauthentic and fake. I would start feeling there. I was feeling like I want to jump out of my skin.
yeah. For me,
Distortion,
it
distortion.
feels, yeah, Helena. For me, it feels so. There was even a friend. I feel like maybe 5, 6 years ago, where at this point I was like, wow, I really will not be able to even like hold a conversation, because I literally I feel a hole. Like there is a hole in an energy, right?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah. Like a
like
void.
a black hole, like something is
Uh-huh.
sucking when
Yes, yes, yes.
somebody, when there is a dissonance in their, when they're
Yes,
aligned
yes.
themselves, and they're really gonna, let's say people will talk and look into your eyes and like share a
Yeah.
thing, and I'm looking into them, and I can't even hear them because the only thing I feel is the misalignment.
Yes,
I
yes,
can
yes,
feel it in
yes.
me, and
And
I'm
you feel
looking,
it in you. You start
I
mirroring
can
it.
hear
Mhm,
them,
mhm.
but it doesn't connect. Whatever
Yes,
they're saying, it's not,
yes,
I can't
yeah.
take, my body cannot take it, because I can feel the again
Yeah.
the misalignment.
Dissonance. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Misalignment.
it feels like a just a gap, right? Like there's a
Yes.
field full of energy, right? The field is
Because
always
your two auras are colliding. And those two auras, you know, when you throw one
ripple,
pebble,
and
you
then
throw
the
one
other one
pebble into the lake and you throw another pebble into the lake.
it
And then
cancels.
the rings. The rings are centripetal and they're moving, overlapping into each other. And
Yeah.
those vibrations are creating beautiful overlapping, but congruent patterns. When that is misaligned, you're not creating patterns of that are congruent. You start
Yeah.
doing like going,
Well, they start canceling each other out.
yes,
Yeah.
canceling
Yeah,
each
yeah,
other.
yeah. It's a chaos. Yeah, it's a chaotic energy. So yeah, it's so strange, and it was even it was even weirder because I was like, do I just cut off the like
Yeah.
how? And while I was actually kind of sitting with all of it,
Yeah.
the person did like just distant
Just like,
themselves from itself. Like it was done, right?
yeah.
I was like, okay, here you go.
That happened to me so many times, Roma.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would be crazy about this guy. Maybe I'm 13, 14. He's a kid. I'm a kid. I'm crazy about him. Crazy about him. And some friends, like a usual pattern that was for me, very common pattern, my girlfriends arranged to kidnap the guy, trick him basically with deceptive measures and bring them to some party or some place where I am and put us together. It was like a setup, right? And
I
it
love it.
happened a few times. Get them drunk and bring them to me, and then we would hook up, and it would never work out because always under fake and false pretenses. And I'm the one who is conducting pretenses. They're not. They're tricked into it. So now I see the pattern. I am the trickster. I'm the perpetrator of this. And then taking
It's so
responsibility,
beautiful.
saying, fuck that. That didn't get rejected. I basically tricked these dudes into something they're supposed to be into. But, anyways, my girlfriend, she's dating his friend. And my best friend at the time, Natasha was her name, she's like, my boy will bring him to this double date. So this dude shows up. He's gorgeous. He's everything on him is perfect. But from distance, it was completely different. All dreams are much better from afar. So he comes now, he's next to me, and he's shy. He has nothing to say, but his energy is off.
Okay.
And I'm 12. I swear to God, I'm not lying. This is how it works. We just got together, all four of us, outside in the street. We looked at each other and we made maybe 4 steps together. And I just said, fuck this, I'm not made for this. And I turned around and left. That was it. These words, 12 years old, fuck this, I'm not made for this. Like 4 steps. And you know, I can imagine I didn't have to appreciate how much effort went into coordinating a double date. And these girls bringing in this dude that I wanted, he was like older than me in a different class, and I was wanting him for 6 months, looking at him, had a crush on him. Now he's finally next to me, and I feel the energy completely something dissonant, absolutely dissonant, like 1,000% dissonant, like a jock from some like field, and I'm like this choir priest, whatever. And we are just, he's just made 4 steps next to me, and I was like 12, and I was like, fuck this, I'm not made for this. And I turned
So
around and went home.
yeah, I love that we touched the subject of like, yeah, like awakened man or awakened woman. Again, there's fuck the separation between awakened and not awakened, yet this
Yeah.
is the specifically what we were talking about, the
How we
experiences.
call it, conscious and non-conscious.
Okay, perfect. I love
Yeah.
it. So, for me, I was my first love was very beautiful. I shared with you as a friend,
Uh-huh.
I think a while ago, kind of like a perfect romantic novel. Yeah, where like we first to each other physically, and we wait till we're turning 18 to sleep, and then he's an architect, I am kinesiologist, right? Like finishing schools.
Amazing. Oh, I like the
Everybody
movies.
loves us. He's like a soccer player, very much, very fit, very good looking. Really carried me on his, like, I was loved,
Uh-huh.
beautifully loved. And and I felt the same. Like, I didn't have eyes for anything. 4 years together, we are finishing universities, and everybody obviously started like, okay, so you're done with school, you're
Uh-huh.
getting married,
That's
and
it. Yeah.
that's it. And I remember starting to pause because I was like, wait, am I supposed to see the image in my mind, right? Am I not supposed to like see myself in the white dress? Because I
Yes,
could
I never
not.
saw myself once.
couldn't
I was
see.
engaged 3 times. I never saw myself in white dress. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, I even went
You
to my
never saw it even once?
neighbor. Yeah.
You never saw it even once?
No, and I was like, wow, I went to a neighbor even, and I was like, and to my grandma the same. I was like, I love him so much. I said, but I don't understand why. I feel like that's not it for me. Like, you're telling me I'm finishing university, that's where you guys gonna live. You both gonna make great money. The baby, we're all like that.
Yeah,
Our
it's
parents
already.
left us
Yeah.
together as well. So they're like, okay, in a few years we grandparents. And I was like, I don't see any of it. I can't feel it. I don't understand. So
Yeah.
yeah, obviously I ran away to United
Yeah.
States.
Yeah.
What-
It
I have
made
a
no
couple.
sense for me.
Yeah, I have a couple comments here, so I'm just gonna look at the. Oh my God, I see Matthew is here. Mark is here. We have all the beautiful men in the house. Conscious men,
I
by
thought
the
it
way.
was
I
going to be
love
all
it.
girls. I
I
thought it was
love
going to
it.
be like
Look at
gossip
this.
session and all the girls together.
I love it. This is
There are
amazing.
men actually nice.
They're supporting us. They're holding the field for us as well.
I
uh,
love
so
it. I love it.
Mark said, the minute you allow others to filter your mind, you're lost. This is beautiful. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Be your
It's
own.
you see yourself through their eyes. That's the worst thing. When you
Yeah,
start seeing yourself through other people's eyes.
absolutely.
That's
You
bad.
basically adapt the world that was given to you rather.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, he says, be your own God. Then he shares about the need as well. Need is crippling. Don't be a crutch for yourself. So needing, right? That need
Yeah,
energy. I need this. I need that. I need you to tell me I'm good looking. I
yeah,
need you to make me happy. Like, wow, how many couples out there are trying to make each other happy? Stop
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Just make yourself happy. What is happening, right? And
It's
then there's
outsourcing everything. Outsourcing
up
every
until
single
now.
emotion that you have is outsourced.
Yeah, up until now, up until now.
Up until
And then Mark says, mirror neuron is either constructive or destructive. Beautiful. Yeah, interference to their incoming wave. Accept or reject the wave, like resonant antenna matching. Choice is a feeling, as feeling is core I am. So yeah, Mark always puts a little poetry. By the way, Matthew writes amazing poems. Really, I will send some
send
stuff.
me the links because I want to see. Because I right now I can just vaguely connect the names because I saw them in your feed sometimes.
Yeah,
But I
I
want to
will.
connect the names with the account so I can,
Yeah, yeah, I will.
follow
Absolutely.
them.
So, yeah. It's again, it's fun. No matter how many people talk about social media, it's like, oh, really,
Yeah.
really for
No,
me,
it has so
was
much
all
good. It's so
for
much
me,
good.
yeah, it was always a beautiful tool.
Yeah,
Because I
it's the
don't
best. Like anything, anything can
exactly,
be a poison or a medicine. It's how you use it.
exactly.
It's
Yes,
always how you use
exactly.
things.
Love
Exactly.
is dream fantasy. It's better to love and be more pragmatic. What? It's better. It is better not to love and be more pragmatic, be real. Love is a dream fantasy. Okay, I wonder what is he saying. And Matthew has another. They're
Yeah.
talking. I
Love
love it.
is, what love is. Love is your true nature. This is who you are. When you come to this world, infinite, infant, and infinite, when you come from a space of infinity incarnating into physical body, first emotion you will feel is love. It's not despise. You don't come as a baby and like, fuck this shit, I'm out of here. Like there are some babies who do that, but generally our infinite God, when it is in every single tradition in history, apart from the fallen angelics and their ET agendas that we have now, God was always personified love. What love is actually absence of judgment. Anything that is absent of judgment is love.
Love it. That's
Love
beautiful.
is not going out there scoring a date on Tinder and impregnating someone. That's not love.
Yeah, and
Love is actually not judging. It's
yeah,
like,
and I feel like that's why it's so challenging for people to comprehend,
yeah,
especially when we share about like unconditional love, right? Sometimes I'll share unconditional love, and because they're still in their ego, they will be like, well, unconditional love for self, it's selfish, right?
yeah, yeah.
Or or
Or
they
they
will
tell
say
you, yeah,
tolerance, like, oh, so what? I need to tolerate this?
yes,
No,
yes.
it doesn't
I
mean
had a fight with a friend over it because I said I tolerate, like, if he's happy, literally, I don't have a need to own him or condition him. If he behaves, I love him. If he doesn't behave, I leave. Is that a condition? So it's not a mental level. Like I literally feel my body that says maybe he's with someone else right now, or he is with someone else, or whatever. And I'm like, even if that was a woman, even if that was a child, if that was an animal, whatever, that being, doesn't matter what form he's in at all for me. I don't see form anymore. The
It,
minute I connect that way to that being, his codes, for me, it's like this, like a hot shower after all day skiing. It's like all your muscles can start relaxing. It's like neurotoning. Every time I connect to that energy, I feel like this is what love should feel like. And there is no conscious thought in there. Why is it? And I had to say to a friend, I'm absolutely no conditioning of brain saying this has to be this way. And she says, you're humiliating yourself because he's going to be cheating, he's going to be
so,
sleeping with other people, and you're still
yeah,
there. I'm not
yeah.
there. There's no one there. This is an illusion. It's always this thing going on. We have to save the world. World is an illusion. We have to save the world. World is an illusion. I live in the place where the world is an illusion. I'm infinite, absolute infinite consciousness, tidal wave, experiencing itself. Whatever arises in my field arises in my field and declines in my field. Nothing is permanent. The only permanent thing is transience. Transience
I
and change
love
are
it.
the only permanent things. So you see all these people that are so motivated and so absolutely determined they're going to live forever. None of them is here. So in 100 years, none of us will be incarnated. None of us will be here. And it really won't matter. Absolutely 99% things that you're doing, thinking, or claiming is not going to be at all even remember that you ever existed. It's really sad to see people behaving as though they're going to live 1,000 years. It's like everything is permanent forever. And that is the illusion. So abandoning that illusion is actually just waking up. You remember that movie Awakenings with Robin Williams when he's a
Yes,
doctor
yes,
in that
yes.
it is. That's a tidal wave of awakening. One is pulling the other. When one starts playing the violin, the other one starts painting, and they're waking each other up, and it's constant
Well,
ocean.
yeah,
And
we're trying.
each one of us realizing that none of us is a wave. We like in a samadhi. Samadhi has extremely fast speed of energy. And when you go in there, the energy wave is too fast for material matter to vibrate on that frequency, and it dematerializes you in a way. So your spiritual part, your mental body, is differentiated, and you kind of break out like a wave. And that is what is the Vedic books said. That's what Upanishads are saying. 5,000 years before BC. That's what they said. That's what Buddha, that's what Lao Tse used to say. That was Lao Tse. If anybody can read Tao, Tao that can be named is not Tao. Be like
Yeah,
the Tao. That is the Tao. Waking up in the morning and saying, well, I'm not the wave, I'm the ocean. But challenge there comes when you wake up in the morning, you have no job and you have no income. That's happened to me. Like you wake up in the morning, you're like, what do I do today? I'm the wave, okay? I'm the
um,
wave, but what does the wave eat today? Like, I
yeah,
don't know where the paycheck
yeah.
is coming from. You don't know where the next meal is coming from. And it goes on. And Alan Watts talks about it. He says it's a rite of packet. It's a rite of passage. You cannot go walk the path without reading about the path and knowing the path. It's completely different than walking the path. Living in capitalist America and being a coach on the internet, coaches are the plague of new time, by the way. I have these coaches like, he's like pumped up on steroids. He's going to teach me a stream of income, awakening. I'm the Buddha. You're no. You're a puppet of delusion. You have to walk the path. If you want to teach me liberation, then you first have to be liberated for teach me
Yeah,
liberation.
yeah.
If you're having 5 streams of income chained to an algorithm, so if algorithm tomorrow crashes, cyber attack, you're one cyber attack from non-existent business. You're one cyber attack away from never existing again in your life. Because if there is no internet presence, there is nothing there, actually. There is no food, there is no growth, there's nothing. So you're you're one shut off electricity away from your business ever again creating 1 penny for you. And then your whole paradigm collapses. So you have to be liberated. You cannot walk the path of 5 streams of income through the AI, through the internet, through the capitalistic system of the banks, of this, of that, of cash apps, and talked about Tao and Buddhism and monkhood and being like they caught quite a few of these teachers, Roma. You remember? They caught this dude. He has like 1 million followers. He's one of the biggest teachers of awakening, and he faked his whole life. Like a ton of them are faking their lives. They're
Well,
selling
like,
books, they're
yeah.
selling courses, they do a lot of stuff, and they're like, we are liberated. Liberation is completely different when you have to walk it the right way. Liberate yourself first, and then you go back into producing. Yeah, but
Yeah,
you
that's
never
beautiful.
lived in a free
From
fall. You
thin
cannot.
air. Again, all the experiences and from in my interpretation, my own path, well, that's what is was here for
Yeah,
that liberation, right? Where I don't have anything validated, safety net, or
yeah,
validating me in any way,
yeah.
right? Or supporting me.
Siddhartha was a prince.
Very
Siddhartha
good.
was a prince and walked out and walked into a street to be a street bum. Siddhartha was a prince. If we were supposed to have empires and be the leaders of the awakened community and teach liberation and freedom and non-dependence and self-reliance, then Siddhartha wouldn't become a Buddha. He would remain Siddhartha. He left Yashodhara. Yashodhara was pregnant. I think she was either pregnant or with a kid, meaning he walked out on a pregnant queen, princess wife, and a father king, an entire empire, and left all that as Siddhartha to become Buddha, sitting in a rags under the street, supported by his apostles and his disciples. So there is a point in that. There is a journey. There is a progression in that. You cannot have an empire of a prince and be the bodhisattva. Bodhisattva is different, no matter what we say.
In where I'm gonna add, so yes, because again, how are you liberated if you are always had guarantee or a safety? And it doesn't really exist, by the way. It
Yeah,
only exists in that illusionary thingy,
yeah.
right? And in our delusion. Um, Yet, in my interpretation, at this point, right,
Mhm.
why there is a shift. There is a shift for that reason that we will bring that higher consciousness into physicality. What does that mean?
Have abundance and wealth
Yeah,
also.
meaning I'm redefining the abundance.
Mhm.
Because before a definition of abundance was accumulation, right? So
Yes.
I
Consumers and
accumulated
accumulation of wealth.
five
Yeah,
houses, beautiful cars. I have
yeah,
safety net of saving accounts. I have stocks. I have income coming. Here's the gold. Yeah, like
yeah.
uh, versus that pure source abundance where it's always moving and always
Yes.
coming and going.
You
Where
are the abundance itself.
yes,
You're the
yes,
life. You are the
yes.
you have to trust that you are the life that is absolutely providing, always and eternally providing life.
And
You don't fall in love with the life outside. I don't fall in love with my life as an influencer on Bali. I fall in love that I am a life itself, and I'm broke. Let's say I up until now, let's say I was in a state when I deliberately brought myself situation that I said I'm gonna shut down everything to see how this works. I have to do it empirically. That's what my imperative was. I had to go into the unknown because if I stayed into the known, I wouldn't be able to fake it. I'm just not capable of that fake it. I can't. If I stayed in New York and started doing yoga teaching classes and all that and how to manifest abundance, I don't have it in me to manifest
well,
that
we
without
didn't
experience.
connect yet. Yeah.
So I had to go into the third world country without dime to my name, sit on the floor of a monastery without a dime to my name, without any possessions, in celibacy, without anything to me, butt naked on the floor, sitting and confronting all my fears every day. And I remember writing to my diary saying, if marinating in my horrors and fears was a sport discipline, I would be
I am
Olympic.
winner.
I'm Olympic champion. And like whatever is my fear, dive. Just go
Love
in
it,
there. There are
love
people
it.
who live like that. It's like I remember as a child, somebody told me because you lived in a war and abuse a lot, you wired chaos as your home. So when there's no chaos, I'm like, what the fuck do we do now? But when it's chaos, when something is shaking, I'm very calm. So
Yeah.
whenever there is some tumbling, like September 11 or COVID, during COVID, I was blossoming.
The same. For me, everything's
Enjoying
yeah.
life. Like lockdown was 2020 was the best year of my life. Like lockdowns, I'm traveling, I'm going to the seaside, I'm engaging with everyone, never engaged, went
I
great.
was living in Florida on the golf course and laying by the pool every day.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
weekends, I had my own store. I worked only Friday, Saturday, Sunday, making good money, working 3 days a week,
Why
and
is
just,
that? Why is that chaos for the collective is always the most peaceful place for us?
well, again,
We're always in a
understand.
contrast.
Yeah, understand that again, when you are in the world but not of it, right? So again, I might watch a disaster, but it doesn't affect me
Yeah,
because of the frequencies. We will always end up in again that kind of
yeah.
divine protection, whatever you want to call it. And if I guess if my journey needs a shakeup, I
You,
will, right?
you will
Yet
get it. You will get it.
you
Yeah.
will get it. Yeah. Yet if it doesn't, then we move a little bit differently as well. And we were like with your abuse and with everything, right? The most people get all these other senses deactivated. We didn't. I the same. My upbringing was very, very rough. So for me, if I came home from school, not the doors of the house, but the
Mhm.
gates, right? The gates are much further from the house. I would open the gates, close my eyes, and
Uh-huh.
I knew exactly what's happening in the house.
Uh-huh.
I knew if to come in quietly. I knew if I can just be relaxed. I knew if I
Hyper,
had to
hyper.
hide. I knew if I'm not supposed to walk into the house right now.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And it was the
You
same.
have to. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was the same even with my exes and my ex-husband, he would laugh. Before I opened the doors, when I touched the knob, I
Uh-huh.
would already know his mood and
What's
I would walk
happening?
in and
Yeah.
tell him. And he's like, how did you know? I am very frustrated.
Yeah, yeah. Like recently I noticed that I get really frazzled if I have a couple of waiters who make my coffee every day because I'm coffee addict. That's my only greatest addiction of my life is coffee. I'm just I cannot live without coffee. Like I'm a shareholder in Starbucks for 30 years of that. Like so much coffee every day, huge amounts of coffee. And we've if she today she was making my coffee and her name is Ivana, and she was making my coffee, and she said, "I'm very nervous today. I have to tell you something. I'm very nervous today." And when people are extremely nervous and very frazzled, I literally pick it up and I take it elsewhere. I literally take it with me and I feel it. I come to a post office and I have a fight with the postman, or I feel come stuff that is not even mine is just making its way like snowballing out, and literally understanding how these auric fields are literally like cleaning each other up like
Yeah.
cobwebs. I go through two of them having a fight. I walked in between them. Two of them, the waiters were having a spat, and I walked in between them. I just picked it up, and literally that, like knee hurts when somebody down the street said, oh, "Daddy, my knee hurts." I was like, "Okay, this is why my knee hurts." So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
again, we are not connected. We are not connected. We are
You're not.
one field of consciousness with different points of refraction. Where usually how you see it is like consciousness is imploding onto itself. Microdosing
Yeah.
consciousness, and that one little peak is consciousness imploding onto itself. Wherever you are becoming aware of yourself, observe yourself in the 0 point. That's where the fabric of reality implodes, because a creator of its own couldn't detect or couldn't create or experience otherness. And the only way for it to create otherness or experience otherness was polarization and contrast. And we are the peak of that contrast. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. A few things that I want to go back to that open heart and that unconditional love, like you said, like if I love, it's unconditionally, meaning again, they can
You have
choose.
no choice there. It's not your choice to do that.
Yeah, yeah, they
It's
can
how you
choose
feel.
to walk away. They can choose this. So I remember, and again, it's so clear that everything that was given, on my journey, was really empowering me, especially that I can see that way right now, right? It
No,
was, it was,
yes.
it was supporting.
Hindsight is always 2020.
Here you go. Yeah.
Hindsight is always
Yeah,
2020.
yeah. So to harness that potential. So as we're talking about loving someone, so for me was always I was not able to say bad word about either my exes, romantic relationships, or even my girlfriends. And everybody knew, and my closest friends would actually, especially girls, if it came to my romantic relationship, like, oh, this guy did this or lied or didn't show up or whatever, right? And I would be like, oh, that's what happened. And they would want to talk about them, oh, this guy is piece of shit, or you know what I mean? Oh,
Yeah.
these men, I would not allow them. I would be like, no, don't say. And I was always called by my girlfriends, you are so naive, you're so stupid.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, keep loving them from far. Oh my
Yeah,
God, you're so stupid. Like literally, they always call me naive and stupid. And as you say, I sometimes I would be like, okay, like I want to close my heart. Like, yeah, I want to be mad. I couldn't. I couldn't close my heart and resent or be mad. Everybody always knew that I can't be mad more than 2 minutes.
yeah.
Literally, and I will always,
But,
I don't care if you're right or I'm right. I'll be like, what's up? All
but
good.
that comes back with a vengeance. When you do that for long enough, that's what happens during the shadow integration. For me, all those years that I never verbalized what was
Yeah,
happening
yeah,
to me,
yeah. Then things come
when
out.
that when that hit me like like a freight train in 2012, 2013, I ended up in emergency room like 5 times. Like that shit started boiling out of me like a volcano. I started writing books. I just started writing, and I would read. I was like, "Who wrote this crap? I don't know. What is this?" It's like I wrote it. It came out like a vomit. So there was a subconscious aspect of me which was starting to rebel and started actually bringing back to consciousness everything that happened, but I'm acknowledging it with all that malice because I didn't think it was malice. And I remember saying to a friend of mine, if you can maybe not bite me, it would be really nice if you wouldn't bite me. Like she was saying something really mean to me and always derogative or humiliating or diminishing me at any time she could. And I would always keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet. Like just, brush it off. Like doesn't matter, but it adds up. It adds up. We're talking about years of that. What this does to you. When you keep quiet and it happens for a really long time, it's not once or twice. So when people put you down for a really long time and they really don't ever see you or respect you, I don't think I was ever seen for who I am. I said to my first fiance, I said, if I was 300 pounds and had a mustache and hairy legs and I was missing an eye, would you be with me? Would you be with me if I was missing an eye? Or it's just the appearance? So what is it? If you don't know my soul, if you don't know any, like my soul was never in the equation. And what needed to be transmuted in 2012, 2013 was actually that there was a Fight Club, a Brad Pitt that came out.
Yeah.
He was like that. She came from a war. She there are brutal things I cannot even speak online about. I cannot even talk in the ethers about them, not now, because they're so brutal that I wouldn't want to verbalize them. But that what she went through, I'm not calling her anymore me because I'm a different self now. That little girl, what she went through, fuck me. I wouldn't want that for an enemy. I wouldn't want like
Yeah.
what she went through 4 years,
Yeah.
4 years of war zone when there were people coming back like Gaza right now. They would first return people to my grandmother's house. There was a lady that was living with her kids. First, they returned the body of her husband. Then the head came 1 month later and stuff like that. So this little girl was never acknowledged. That person was never acknowledged. And when she came back came out 2013, she started pulling me like a little bit, and then hey, look over here, bam, and then she hit me. And then you have one breakdown after another breakdown. You start breaking on seams everywhere, and that is actually when that splitting happens, and that person is coming out. And you say this is demon, this is possession, this is whatever the church is calling, or whoever is, but it's actually your shadow coming out for the first
Shadows are
time.
so beautiful.
Yeah, and she was angry. Roma, she was angry. I fought with everyone. My mom used to tell me, "What you're gonna get beaten up if you continue like this." Like I would go to the town and to buy something, and by the time I get to town to supermarket, I already had like two fist fights with people in the street. Like I was fist fighting people, women. Like I would grab the hair and I would just want to slam her against the wall. Like
And
I'm saved that people didn't press charges because I was really angry all the time because
yeah.
that person was coming out. And
Yeah.
so this is churning, it's churning, always churning, whether we like it or not. it's all in quantum field. If Dr. Clinton starts talking about, she will explain it from a different biological stand, how it's stored in tissues, and every organ has a different frequency, median frequency, and every frequency is a different emotional state, which was stored there for a reason. You need to release it, come to consciousness with it. But all else in the end comes to the same thing that Carl Jung said. Enlightenment, or expansion of consciousness, is not envisioning figures of light. It's making your darkness conscious, and that's the bottom line, making your
Yeah,
darkness conscious
yeah, yeah.
through
And
art, through love, through everything. Yeah.
yeah, and it's beautiful what you said as well. Like, for me, for years not feeling seen, right? Um,
Oh, for me,
well,
that's normal. You were the first person maybe who saw me. I have like 3 people who saw me in my
oh,
life.
we're
Like,
done.
I
We're
have
done.
I have
We
200
break.
followers my whole life. I have 200 followers, and like three of
We're
them
done.
saying I look like a transgender Stephen King. Anyone said, "Stop with your bullshit." That's what I like. Pretty much, most men are like, "You transgender Stephen King over there, you ugly biatch. Stop talking, you bullshitter." And I was like,
They're still like, they're like, are you gonna be seduced by the chaos? So
I'm not even seen. I don't think I'm seen anywhere. Like
yeah,
I'm invisible pretty much all
uh,
the time.
yeah, you're. I mean, you get to start seeing yourself because we see
Yeah.
you and we value you a lot. And I can even one of your followers actually wrote me and asked me if this live gonna stay because she cannot be here on
Uh-huh.
live.
Farah,
And I
maybe Farah. Farah.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And then
Canadian.
she was like, I shared this and I shared this and I
Yeah.
shared.
I have I have few people, Roma. They're very few. They're like 5, 6 people. But these are
It's
fucking sisters. They are
it's
fucking sisters. Like amazing
beautiful.
that you pick your like these women, like Dina in Mexico. We connected over our sharing posts.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
we hanged out in real life and all that. But like I see her as my fucking family. Like
yeah,
more family than my family
yeah.
that been born into my bloodline for 5 generations. Like I have nothing to do with them. I don't know who they are. So our families are congregating so fast. So whatever I say against social media, there's so much good in it, and so
Yeah.
much gold, and so much beauty that thank God we have it. Thank God, because we are
Yeah, well,
congregating so
yeah,
fast.
even people that are watching here right now, I can see. Hi, everyone in general. Thank you so much for being here. And like Mark keeps putting leaving comments. Matthew, like the same through Instagram, and I feel so suddenly seen by them, even through their share. And then every time we talk,
Yeah.
we're like, oh my God, like yeah, we're here,
Yes.
we're it. And again, that's the beauty because through the
Yeah.
for me, oh, what I wanted to say, okay. So for me, one of the, well, I'll say that was NDE without NDE, really. I was chanting and I absolutely went out of my body. That was a long time ago yet. I thought I am out of my body for like 30 minutes, right?
Uh-huh.
Yet I got up 8 hours later on the floor and I was so
Wow.
swollen I couldn't even open my eyes because I was screaming, crying, and then screaming, laughing. Because literally I saw what you were
Yeah,
saying.
that's why they have a meditation. A lot of people cries and laughs. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I literally, like, that was such a beautiful ego death for me because felt in that moment every pain of that little Roma, from
Mhm.
beginning to not seeing to
Yeah. Yeah.
feeling
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
world differently and everything. And it was so ridiculous at the same time because the pain was so real. I could
Yeah.
feel it in my body, although I was out of the
But
body,
you
right?
always know it. When we were
Yeah,
younger, sometimes I cried. It's not even my tears. Like
yeah, yeah.
I would
Just a
cry.
second.
I wouldn't know if I was gonna stop. I
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
stop
but wait a
crying.
second. Wait. And then at the same time, I could see that this Roma doesn't even exist and it's absolute
Yeah.
illusion. So I
Yeah.
was crying so deeply with pain, but then laughing hysterically at the same
Yeah.
time because you're like, oh my God, all the times I tried to prove, to validate myself, try to be the good daughter, the good sister, the good friend, the good part. Like it's
The
ridiculous.
program.
Like
Yeah.
it doesn't even, yeah. And then last couple years, there's suddenly these people from the past pop in. And suddenly I got even last year, or even this year, actually, I got two messages from friends of mine that I haven't spoken for 7 years. The other one, for like 2 years, that they suddenly wrote me such a beautiful messages where suddenly I felt seen. And you know what happened? I actually was crying. There was so much pain. I thought I'm just gonna get like really happy about it. Yet I was releasing that
Yes,
girl
yes,
as
yes,
well,
yeah,
that held the space, held the open heart, but was never seen. Like you said,
yeah,
there was still, so I was purging for like 3 days, looking at the beautiful message, but feeling like I just read the nastiest message to myself,
yeah.
right? Like, and I,
You're looking every time we how can I explain this? How does this work? For me, at least, or we digress, or when we enter one of these little spirals in your field. Usually, there is a spiral of energy where, on the periphery of your field, there is an aspect of you which was fragmented and fractured and fractalized in finite form, looping into perpetuity outside of time space, frozen in time, we call it. So if you were abused, let's say in the kitchen by the sink, that girl is standing by the sink, shaking, defending, holding hands like this, 3 year old, being abused for next 70 years. Every time you get pulled into that, siphoned off that energy leak into that spiral, that aspect of you, you're going to refract energy through her eyes.
yeah,
And you are going to do this. And your first impulse will be defend, defend, attack, attack. So as long as we have in our field a lot of aspects of ourselves that are still trapped in a fight or flight, okay, in that level of existence, which is Malhadara, is the first level of existence. That's where most of the emotions are trapped, or first security, and second emotions, where ovaries are. That's where orange color of your existence is, your spectrum of your energy. So as long as there's a lot of orange or red energy in your field, you are going to have a lot of these fight or flight emotions, and we are refracting all the energy coming in and going out through this filter of this girl that is frozen in time in 1992, fighting against somebody who's abusing her, stuck in that kitchen. She hasn't. I remember there was a movie. This must be the place with Sean Penn, when he goes into Holocaust to find the guy. It's my favorite movie. To find the guy who killed his father in Holocaust. And he's chasing this Nazi guy. Doesn't matter, but he comes to this character of this old Jewish guy in Brooklyn, and he says, "But war ended 50 years ago." And this guy says, "I'm still there.
yeah,
I'm still in that freight train for cattle in Auschwitz. I haven't left. I'm still in there. Don't you understand? It's been 50 years for you guys, but I'm still there." He's still trapped
I
in that
remember that.
vortex of energy on his field, where he's still in that void. So I remember when I went to Greece first time, I went with no money, nothing, just free falling. 1995, I was chased by some mafia. It was a really bad situation in Belgrade, and I went to start a life in a country I didn't know with a suitcase. I didn't know nobody. I didn't speak a language. It was horrible, but it was like brave, like balls only, no plan, just balls. So whatever hits, hits. So sleep in the
Huh?
street first, whatever. It was horrible. 1995, like horrible winter. And there was a bus, and I didn't have, at the time I couldn't migrate because I didn't have money. So I was just fresh out of the war, studying. I was university art student, and art history. And I remember I joined somebody's field trip to go to Greece. So there was a school bus with children literally going who paid to go for a school trip, field trip to Greece, and I just hopped onto their bus with them and went to Greece. So I say to myself, I'm still on that bus. That aspect of me that is seeing the world as a dangerous place, that she's not wanted anywhere. She's a refugee from a third world country. She is undesired, unwanted, bouncing around, and world is such place through her eyes. When I identify myself with that, when I go into that girl, yeah, I see the world through her eyes. I'm still
Yeah,
stuck in the bus. You're still in a free fall. You're still alone. The world is a horrible place. And so healing these parts really, really changed everything. It's like doing this. Oh, there's some space now where it used to be this
yeah,
dense
yeah,
motherfucking stone that was just like kidney stone. Every day that kidney stone is trying to break through, like another kidney. Now it's just freedom. It's like, yeah, there is no energy charge there. So
yeah.
this is like something's coming up. Like, yeah, there's no energy charge
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. There is, yeah, I love it. And again, speaking from nervous system perspective, the same, right? Like that's why I always used to laugh. And hence, again, kids come into the family to really awaken and support the parents to rebirth, right?
Yeah,
Up until
yeah,
now, a lot of our families didn't understand that, and it's okay. That was the Kali.
yeah.
That was the
Yes,
that
yes,
was the moment in the
yeah,
space and
yeah,
time. Let's say. I couldn't comprehend. A lot of times I was like, I see two adults, but for me, they were not acting like adults. For me, they were children. Hence, a
Yes.
lot of adults
Stuck in
are,
old bodies.
yeah,
Yes.
we just have a credit card and drive license. But
Yes. And
a 7-year-old that's
yeah,
walking
yeah.
around with the
You're 10-year-old. Yes, 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 yes,
unlimited
exactly.
credit card, yes.
Yeah,
And it's so interesting
absolutely.
how, if you look again, and Mark that says that all the time, uh, diversity university,
Yeah,
all of us, you, me, Mark, I know that, Matthew, I'm not sure, tell us, lived in the cars. Like, we lived in the car.
yeah.
We were,
But it was a choice. It was a choice.
yeah, where
Because you
you
could
like,
always get you could always get a 9 to 5 and go and have three loans and a dog and like a Costco card. I could always have a Costco card and 9 to 5. I think that was an option.
I mean, the things had to be pulled from us in a way,
Yeah.
right? And again, some of us health, look at there are people, if I look at all the glitches, in fact,
Uh-huh.
everyone that I had so far, you're number 8, right? Up here,
Uh-huh.
things were pulled. The structure, the world that in the beginning was given suddenly was pulled like a carpet from
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Some
and
extremes were happening. Some extremes.
yes, and a lot of times constantly, right? You're
Yes.
just like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Would it ever stop? Like I was like, was it ever gonna stop? Like I was born in communism, it collapsed, then it was socialism, it collapsed, then I had the war, then I was refugee, then I came to America and I watched towers collapse. Then I went for my like I went to with my boyfriend in 2015 for a beautiful dinner, and we here in Paris, and I hear this shooting, and then it was Bataclan that night. We were right there when it was happening. So it seems to me, I had a friend who used to say, every time you're leaving the home to go somewhere, just let me know so I stay home that day. Because it feels to me that we were like triggering a massive amounts of events that were catalysts for some change or something. It's stupid to say that because it gives you a lot of delusion of grandeur, but that's how it seemed. Because for me, it was like, is it ever going to stop? And at one point, being a monk for me was think of a survival. It was think of survival. I didn't choose to be a monk because I was like, let me be a monk. I like the robes and I like the beads. It wasn't about the beads. It was like I realized that for me to survive, this amount of turmoil and this sensitivity in it would be the only way for me, is like for artists either to go crazy and cut his ear off and then go into Lone bin and become Van Gogh, or you go into absolute like void, like a vacuum room where you have to calm down and starve the senses. And in all the greatest teachings of Buddha and Hindu teachings, Hindus are the Vedic books, Upanishad, Buddha is different. uh, Everything they talk about is the highest hallmark of highest most evolved consciousness is withdrawal of the senses. The most you can do is not react. Non-reactiveness is knowing that everything comes in your field and goes in your field. I am the field of consciousness in which everything comes up and comes off and comes off and comes off without the pain body asking for his pound of flesh in all that.
So this is a question for you, Lena, and then obviously Matthew or Mark share as well. Oh, by the way, Matthew says yes. I think he lived in the car as well. So here you go. I mean, the health. Most of people like the health were absolutely shattered.
Yes, yes.
The reality was collapsed and so on. Yet,
Maybe Chopin had to go deaf to create those. You
here
understand?
you go.
A
Here
person
you
with
go.
hearing could not create the emperor,
Yeah,
number four, opus number 4. So
yeah,
you have to
yeah.
go deaf to create a masterpiece. There is.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Goosebumps, when you share that again, that neutrality, that 0 point. So
Yeah.
I've been literally vividly, and again, that's why, like, life really has not been, in general, for me, I always felt like I'm living in a movie, and I used to say that. And even
Uh-huh.
people, when they hang out with me a little bit, they're like, you do live in the movie. What's happening?
Uh-huh.
Yet lately now how I actually vividly clearly see
Uh-huh.
how my energetic structure collapses
Uh-huh.
the anorganic stuff. So it happened especially lately. There are a few instances that where I swear, Helena, I was witnessing and I couldn't
Uh-huh.
understand what's happening. There was few timelines. There was some kind
Mhm.
of collapse. There was such a dissonance in my reality.
Uh-huh.
There was such a strong glitching. There was okay. So one instance, my mom and her friend came over, and the reality was playing out something that would have triggered me to death. That was my
Mhm.
absolute weakness per
Uh-huh.
se, the very touchy sore wound.
Yeah.
And
The,
they
the
were,
raw nerve, the raw nerve.
yeah, they were literally talking to me about that and in between each other,
Uh-huh.
and and telling me something where I was like, wow, I don't feel it. I don't feel anything. And I kept telling, and I was like, huh, no, I don't see it that way. And suddenly I say it a couple times, they
Mhm.
couldn't hear me. They stood in front of me and they were talking to me, and anything I said, it didn't register. Didn't register. I was like, and literally I felt like they're slowing, everything was slowing down, and it was so weird because it was a few months ago. Suddenly the room had so many flies. We actually had
Uh-huh.
so many flies, the fruit flies, but
Uh-huh.
there was so many,
Uh-huh.
and even both of them, this, what's happening? They're coming into our mouth. And it was, and I couldn't, I'm talking to them, but they're answering me not what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
They're in a very different, right?
Yes, yes,
And
yes,
and
yes.
there was no, I was so neutral. And then the moment they left, I actually collapsed. I
Uh-huh.
was feeling gray, like I was like, I walked in and I collapsed on the floor, and there was something leaving my body. I could literally
Yeah,
feel
of
an energy
course. Yeah,
structure just
yeah,
falling
yeah,
apart.
yeah.
And so again, for me, it was so vividly. I did
Yeah.
not tangled. I didn't dance. I
Yes,
didn't.
being present is how you intercept these loops. You have
Yeah,
to,
and it
if
was
you are,
literally.
if you are engaged with cooking, shopping, cleaning, that's why the monks are monks, because you have to be there to, when you see that trajectory, that change happening, that split second, different choice has to be made. So every now moment is a choice point. So in that
Yeah,
now
yeah, yeah, yeah.
split second, normal nanosecond, uh, all these little subtle changes of the subtle body, because your subtle body now becomes your, you activate merkaba, yours becoming a huge field of consciousness. It takes integrity and it takes responsibilities, like driving a bike or driving a fucking bus with 50 people in it. It's not the same responsibility, it's not the same level of maneuvering. So now you are really responsible for a lot of stimuli. A lot of stimuli is coming in, overwhelming. That's why we see only 1%, because if we saw everything, we would implode.
That's
We only
right.
see
Yeah.
1%.
For
But last night I watching a movie and I literally feel how movies are portals always. Everybody, I
oh
kept told
yeah,
the
yeah.
body from. So I'm watching a movie. What is it called? I don't know. Kindness of Strangers, about some homeless lady. This homeless woman plays by Zoe Kazan, and she's like homeless and broke, and she's with two. And the Helena from New York started creeping out, because I was in New York for 11 years, and God knows that was like being alone in New York in 2000s on your own, working like during the morning, I worked at the UN. In the afternoon, I would be a coat check in a Chazal restaurant on 26. And then at night, I would be working like at a bottle service. So imagine during the day, you're a UN, like temp or whatever in the UN, United Nations headquarters, because I was political science major. And then at night, I would be doing bottle service and stuff like that. Like a shitty life. Like you have no time to do anything. You sleep in your shoes. And it was a very hard life in New York for 11 years. And I'm watching these movies and I'm eating this something really fun. And I'm like, I generally enjoy myself being on my own. I really love it. I'm like soaking it in. I love to soak myself in. So I'm sitting watching this movie last night, enjoying, I'm having such a good time. And I suddenly see this experience of Zoe Kazan with two kids alone. One child is frozen in the street in center of New York, in the cloister of a monastery where I went to after I left New York, just before I went to New York, left New York, made decision in that there is one little church on I think on 24th Street, 25th Street. And it's happening there. And it's just flashbacks start happening. You know how I felt it? Suddenly, my hands started turning cold, my legs turning cold, and I feel this wave of cold hands and spreading through me. And I'm holding my bowl of grub or whatever, cornflakes I was licking. I was like, why am I suddenly so cold? Like something in me is sucking up the energy. I turned cold in 2 minutes, all white. And my dad walked in and he's like, why are you wearing two jackets? I put ski jackets inside a room because I felt it was just drained me out. That energy wave was so powerful of recognition of her in that movie, that she came up with all that cold, with all that, the cold New York winters when you are like bouncing between apartments because somebody kicked you out, you have no job, you are finding a job, you're making it happen. It's your choice, of course, but you're doing it. And that single recognition of that aspect of me, I turned cold in 2 minutes. It was just all cold. So we become such amazing supercomputers. I think our bodies are the higher families of consciousness, to my knowledge, do not have this width of spectrum of frequency. They cannot dip this low. They cannot be materialized. That's why they use our bodies. That's why all the AI, that's why all the other ET consciousness is incarnating, is stealing consciousness, is incarnating into bodies because they can't. They don't have this bandwidth that human beings have. Like we go so high and so low at the same fucking time. We're like chameleons of the universe. Absolutely everything and anything is possible. And then when you realize how much of it you're numbing or escaping, because we have been caught in our resistance. Resistance is suffering is nothing but resistance to what is.
Correct.
It's not what's happening. It's your resistance to what's happening. It's called suffering. So we are trained. We are wired for resistance. Our bodies first register when you come out. It's too cold. It's too hot. I don't like it. This is the first thing you're going to notice what is off with what is happening, not what is good for you. But first it's going to be, it's too salty. It's too sweet. I don't like it. It's going to be this protection mechanism. But we are always caught. Our impulse is escape to survive, escape, survive, escape, numb. And in that whole thing, we have completely numbed out so much. When I started meditating, the first thing, Roman, it was completely mind-blowing to me, is first of all, I started opening these vortices of cold air everywhere. So as I'm sitting, I just feel this cold air streaming everywhere. And then when there is a non-physical being that comes by, I can feel them. And I would say to my cousin,
usually
I would say, can you please turn off the air conditioning because I'm sleeping, they're blowing on me. And I'm always covering my head. I was like, can you guys stop blowing, please? And he's like, we don't have air conditioning here. They're blowing so hard. Like when these entities and entities, beings, energy beings, they come, they have a physical. When they enter my field, I can literally feel them. They're so cold. They're very cold.
So funny. Wait a sec. So very funny. I don't know if it ever happened to you, right? So years ago, even before my kind of deeper comprehension, right, or remembrance, I always felt when I am in the shower that there's beings in the shower, not in the shower with me, but like literally outside of the bath or the
Of the
shower.
curtain. Yeah, on the other side of the curtain.
It felt so spooky for so many years that I literally started talking to them to not make it spooky for myself to get into the shower. Because I would get into the shower and I would keep creeping because I can literally feel the water.
Yes. I think we can feel all these things.
So you know what I used to do all these years? I would be like literally just friendly and talking and be like, privacy, please, okay? So I made myself more
comfortable, yes.
Because I can't, and it's not like I can go into, and that's the funny that, and the baths was like I slept on the bath on the floor. I don't know, somehow was safer, or I would feel like I would always ask, if I'm with a partner, a husband, like my husband would come and sit. I would be in the bath, like it would be our kind of evening ritual, like sit on the toilet, talk to me, have a glass of whatever he's having.
Maybe
like
it's even something from your past life. Maybe
yeah.
in the shower or in the bathroom that it has to be made conscious one day.
It's so funny. I've always been like, so then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna surrender to what is, and I'm gonna make it fun. I'm gonna just be like, not right now, privacy, please. Okay, just a second. Thank you.
Like, would you like a cigarette, please?
Yeah, like literally, like hold this.
Drink in the shower, and they have company. Yeah.
Towel, bring me the towel. Matt, you said something that I will definitely touch on, and fasting from everything, right? So I know you love at this point we love solitude whenever hermiting.
Yeah.
And it's
Now in moderation at this point, because
in mod, yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And
I
again,
went
that's
into extreme. So my extreme is really extreme,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
some people have a lesson, life lesson. Middle way is the lesson, because when you do everything in extreme all the time, then you realize that your lesson is fucking middle way. That's what you. That's why
Yeah,
you
yeah,
came to
yeah. I
learn
love
how
it.
to do
Yeah, the
middle way.
balance.
Be
Um,
to be moderate.
yeah. Yet this is kind of more so for, again, for me, it's such a beautiful tool and in a way ritual where because again, and especially the last 2 years, right? I travel a lot and I'm staying like suddenly with my family that I haven't visited forever, and I'm staying longer, 2, 3, 4 months.
Yeah.
Then my mom, na. So for me, these fastings, and in fact, it's funny that Matt, you said that because I did text my friend today. Usually that I would talk every day, check in, right? Lee, where my dogs are. I told her, hey, for a few days, I'm doing live today, having couple. I will go a little silent because I my mom left for New Year's to Florida.
I
My
saw
sister,
you. You went silent on me a couple of times completely, like radio
I
crickets,
will pull back.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah,
know exactly what's happening. And I let
yeah,
it be. I know exactly if I send you text and I see that you haven't even looked at it, like nothing.
yeah,
I know
yeah.
exactly you're in
Because
your space.
yeah,
Yeah,
because you really even DMs on Instagram.
I
I
can
tell
feel it.
people like, listen, I might sometimes get back to you in 2 weeks because
Yeah.
I will feel a moment where I want to kind of just pull back
Uh-huh.
to feel into, like you said that beautifully, like I'm bathing in my own energy. I'm bathed, it's like, it's mine and I love it and I love it and I love it. It's not that I'm suffering when I'm with some, yet that supports me to keep balance and to keep recognizing my own energy a lot.
Yes. Yes.
And I will tell for people that are still don't recognize what is theirs and what is not, I would
Mhm.
say that is a must.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
fasting, even food, even like
Yes.
music, even the movies, even the like just surface like talks, because in general, I don't feel ever like talking about the weather, like, right?
Yeah.
Or just
So
whatever, like a surface conversations. So my conversations always goes pretty deep.
yeah, yeah. I remember I had a friend recently. She said to me, not recently, and we are not friends anymore. It's normal. You just fall off your other. She said to me, "Oh my," she was in Belgrade. She's a beautiful person. And all these people are beautiful people, and I love them to
Absolutely.
death. We
Yeah.
just, meandered apart a little bit, but all these people are beautiful people. And she said
Somebody
to
else,
me,
somebody else needs your quotes.
yeah. And she said to me, Helena, everything is you with you is so fucking deep. It's so fucking dense and so deep. Why it has to be so deep? Can you not be so deep, please? It's so tiring. It's exhausting. Your energy. But I would walk into a room. I would walk into a room and I had people say, I didn't say a word. And she goes like this. No, 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 don't say nothing. Like literally reject your energy when you enter the room without saying anything. They go, no, no, I don't have time to deal with you. No, don't say anything. Please, no. I said, I didn't say nothing. No, no, no. Absolute rejection in the sense that whatever you're bringing, don't bring your shit here. I don't have time for you now. I don't have energy for you now. But image I got today when every time like you have this focus of energy, right? And we are trained and we are conditioned in our DNA of millennia. I'll call them billennia at this point because I don't know how to create the word billennia. For 6 billennia, let's go Atlantis, Lemuria, because we keep repeating the same shit over and over again and calling it different names. So if
Yeah.
you have this focus of energy, which is a beam of light, you know how the aliens that come in and beam you down. So it's a beam. It's a wand of creation. It is a tool of creation. You have this beam of consciousness. Okay, if that, and imagine that's a pitcher of water, of soup, of consciousness, whatever you want. And every day you are pouring that soup somewhere else. And I was sitting today and I just flip it and I took that pitcher and I pour it on me. And so now I'm returning back this energy and I'm like, oh, and I'm sitting in the coffee and I'm like, my energy is so yummy. I
I
love
love
feeling
what
my
you said.
energy.
I
I'm
love
pouring my own energy into me and seeing how I clear my like a chocolate fountain. You know, chocolate fountain, it goes
yeah,
down and it comes back up. It's
yeah,
a toroidal field. So I
yeah.
am fueling myself. I'm cleaning myself. I'm clearing myself. I am inducing my coding my own energy like a fountain of a toroidal field. And I'm not pouring into shit places around me, investing like you're investing money, you're investing energy. Your energy is your greatest investment of your life.
Yeah.
Onto TikTok of a dog dancing in a AI dog dancing in pajamas, or random things like betting or dancing or fucking on Tinder, whatever. It's like you're constantly pouring whatever was quanta was God given to you, investing money into every fucking scheme or Ponzi scheme out there, like over and over and over again, and doing the same thing, expecting different result. I was like, take that picture of that energy, that beautiful stream, flip it, and pour it inwards. Like, oh, this feels so good. It's
And
literally like showering with gold. You're like,
yeah, and
I
I
love
feel,
my energy. It's mine, and I love to sit in it. I marinate in it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hyperbaric chamber. You're adding oxygen, your own codes into it. Your. I cannot explain because I'm visual. I see it how it's
Yeah,
happening.
yeah, yeah,
Every
yeah.
time I induce it inwards, I feel how more potent it gets.
Yeah, so again, I feel like maybe that's where the collective is of conscious, because I've been feeling like pouring into, let's say, you and I and Mark, somebody that's already there lately and connecting us. And at the same time, like every week I'll go into, I have a cute, a really awesome yogi, and
Uh-huh.
then we go to breath work, right? Tuesdays, 2 hours, it's breath work, yoga, and then meditation at the end. And usually, usually it will be like, oh, I'm gonna go into, get me clarity, what's the best for the highest, and then I'm gonna see my toroidal field, like clearing this house or something. And literally last week, that's what I said. I said, no, today, Emily, her name is Emily, and I said, today, Emily, my energy is only for me. Moi, 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 moi. I am pouring back. I'm in pod, like you said. And even this week, like I just told you, I was like, I will feel like posting, I'm gonna get on and post. Yet I don't really feel like conversational wise with anyone right now, again, unless I already had
Yeah,
intention
it
to do it.
has to be that you
Yeah.
follow
And
that
I was like,
guidance from within.
yeah, and I
Yes,
was like, you know what? I wanna shower and bathe in my own. So it's
yes.
interesting that we're all kind of, yeah, feeling that as well.
And I
Wow.
feel this is such a privilege to have that. Because I often call this solitude like a jail without bars. I have written a script about it saying my loneliness and life without love. I thought love was go out and get a dude, like I'm the dude from Big Lebowski. I'm just dude to death. So I thought that getting myself a Big Lebowski dude was what love was. But I thought that everything that's not that, everybody's couples around me, Christmas time and all that. I'm like, oh, pretty little me. I'm all alone all the time. It's like, fuck, I love being alone. When I see all the divorces around me, when I see all the collapse, all the people, all the lunacy, like the shadow, collective shadow is right now rearing its ugly head like a hemorrhoid. It's like exploding all over the place. And we are witnessing it. It's not only personal. We are living the collapse and the
Yeah,
absolute shit show
yeah.
of a collective shadow, which is it's just like if you didn't see the pus coming out of the wound, would you know there was pus in it? You wouldn't. So whatever we are seeing with the child abuse and child trafficking and all these dirty shit,
All of it, all of
it's
it. Yeah,
always been there.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
remember I cannot engage with it anymore because I was in the truthing community before they deleted my first account and second. And every time I entered these communities and started posting this really dark stuff, like dark web stuff, I would get poisoned for months at a time. Poisoned, really poisoned, like going to depression and I cannot function. So then you realize that your service is not going into darkness and making those conscious, the darkness conscious in that way because you don't have the bandwidth to carry that. So now from distance, I observed that shit show happening that I said 10 years ago was going to happen. And they called me Debbie Downer and they ostracized me to no end. And everybody's like, you're so dark. I said, it's not darkness, it's reality. It's happening. Don't you see it? No, you're so dark. You're Debbie Downer, Debbie Downer, Debbie Downer. Nobody get her out of here. She's not vibing nicely. So now it's coming out finally, and the ego, we shouldn't have ego, but there is there either way. We should, but whatever. It's kind of feels vindicated. you know. The ego goes like, now they see it all, it's so good. Because now I have sleepers, absolutely, I call them sleepers around me. They're like, you were all wrong, you were all along, you were right, you were right. And I have to admit, it's so vain to say that, but it has to admit, after 10 years of doing on my own, like sitting like this, and even more started 2012 fully. Before that, also years of that, talking about darkness that was happening.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I was in that 1% of these people, and that now they're running the shit show. And cognitive dissonance was too strong back then that I could speak about it or even admit it to myself what was happening. But now when I look back, everybody around me is actually seeing it, and it really makes things so much lighter for us.
Hmm.
I have a feeling we're not alone anymore, because there's so much truth pouring out everywhere,
Yeah,
that the people who saw it many years ago, and were like, there was one beautiful content maker. Her name is Sloan Bella, and she lost a son. They even killed her son. Generally, she was the one who is talks about a lot about stuff that shouldn't be talking about. She has like 400,000 people on, because she predicted everything that's happening. But everybody, every time she spoke about it, they were like, "You should be put locked away." That was the response to a woman that was talking about everything that was under the deck of the collective. And every time, you're insane, you're crazy, you should be locked up, and you should be medicated. And she just kept pouring, and she was really, people who are really not phased, like, fuck that, I'm speaking up, I'm speaking up, I'm speaking up. Bam, you cannot speak up. Like, women like that, you can see they're taking the front seat. Like, people like us were burned lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. You were burned alive, because you are like, for cavemen, anything that's unknown is danger. We are wired that way. Whatever we don't know, it's automatically endangering our lives if we don't know it. So I see now that whole trajectory of the indigo Blu-rays,
yeah,
Blu-rays.
yeah.
No matter how much we don't like the identification of any sort, but we are closest to that non-local consciousness of Blu-ray spectrum, and how we see the world is now becoming really mainstream in a way. So it gets easier. I can say it's much easier today than it was like 3 years ago.
Absolutely. I agree.
You feel it?
Yeah. And again, as we are stabilizing and continue to anchor whatever we are, uh, if it works, it gets copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Meaning, you know, same, even our families, right? Thought of like, oh my God, this is too sensitive, too weak, too cuckoo. What's happening? Why is she thinking that way? Like right now, even I think a year to 2 years ago already, my mom suddenly flipped from
Changing.
she's too sensitive
Uh-huh.
into, oh, it was funny because I heard her suddenly telling her best friend something about me, and she said it in one sentence, and I was like, what's happening? She said, I think my daughter is too smart for this world.
Yeah, you see that
She
it's
started
completely
kind of like, and
yes.
then now she literally, yesterday she called me with her best friend, and now my mom was like, "Oh my God, thanks God, I got so much. She tells me I got so much calm and that harmonized energy from you. I'm
Mhm.
really supporting my friend right now. We're doing it. We did breathing today. She's very stressed, and even the friend grabbed a phone and said, "Ha, your mom suddenly is so peaceful and calm and
Yeah, yeah.
uplifting. She's like, she got the energy from you, so now we're trying to ground here." And I'm like, "Okay, what's happening?" So,
Yes.
like you say, again,
You're
at the moment,
harmonizing. You're both
yeah,
harmonizing. Yeah.
yeah, and obviously it doesn't work one way, right? It works both ways. We had to drop the need to be validated by them at some point.
Yes. It's
uh
everything. That's why I keep saying you shifted inside of you.
yeah,
Otherwise, she would have never shifted out.
yeah,
It's always within. When you diffuse
yeah,
that mind, because there's a mind, like a minefield, and
yeah,
each one of these personas' identities is hooked up to that, whatever her role is, into that mind. And she keeps pulling that mind, and then
yeah,
mind keeps detonating as long as there is a mind. Once you go, I have two students now, so I tell them, you have to completely dismantle the mind, so that person keeps pulling that mind, and
there's no,
there's no charge anymore, because that mind the trigger is completely dismantled, and
yeah,
it's inside you. And
Yeah.
literally, the minute I say, she's the kindest, nicest person, and she's just a child, overgrown child in a really old body, she never matured. And I start seeing that little girl,
Yeah.
and she changes
Yeah.
outside. The
Yeah.
minute I start shifting them within me, consciously, they start absolutely to shift outside.
Yeah. And again,
And it's
yes, even
amazing.
seeing them from the other light. I love what you just said. So years ago, I was kind of totally pushed out of the family, and how I start coming back into the connection with my mom is I would actually have conversations and questions for her about her childhood, and that really supported me because when she shared few things about her childhood events, right, like her upbringing, like I could starting the neutrality start coming in even from my triggers with her because I didn't see the adult attacking me on my mother. I took off the title of my mother, right? Because again, titles will be the attachments that's like he's my husband, he's supposed to do that, she's
Yeah.
my mom, she's not supposed to
Yes.
talk to me like this, how she dare not to support me, right, or not to love. When I took off the title of the mom of
Mhm.
her for myself, right? Not I didn't tell her you're not my mom, but just for myself
Yeah,
mentally,
yeah.
and start literally asking her questions about her as a child. It was so much easier for me to start alchemizing these triggers. I was like, oh my God, that's the 5 year old that broke her leg.
Usually whatever you ask from the outside is what you're not giving yourself. That's 100% 2020 rule.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So if
Yeah. Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
asking for
Yeah.
respect, you give it to you. So
Give it to
every
you.
time I was starting telling people, why do you reject me? They didn't reject me. I rejected myself. So I went in and saying, okay, where am I rejecting myself? Which part of me is a critic created by the fact that I graduated from a university in the States. I right now should be a diplomat with a $2 million salary, a house and a mortgage and a brownstone in London and living a completely different life because I was on that trajectory to be a diplomat when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That's why they said you're going to go to university, you're going to be a diplomat, you're going to speak languages, you're going to live in that life. And all of my family, my parents went to university, my uncles and aunts, they all have university degrees and they all utilized it in some form. And here I come and I'm watching the Tomorrowland or whatever that movie is with Frances McDermott when she's living in a car in a trailer. And that's the ideal epitome, how you call it? That's epitome of pinnacle of my
Yeah.
what life should be. I am in a trailer by the road. It's like crazy. They don't understand. It's like, what are you doing? What? And then you start doubting yourself because I start seeing myself through their eyes, and that
Correct.
aspect of me who judges me is actually mine. They don't
Yeah.
judge me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And every time I walk past them, I would hear in my head word loser, failure, loser, failure. And I had to go in to find which part of me is abusing me
Yeah.
before I can
Amen.
go out. The minute I shifted inside of me that once because you're identified with your stream of income, the minute you're not banking enough money, your worth, your value is completely negated. So
Yeah.
I'm directly reciprocally connected to how much money I make. The minute I didn't make money in their eyes, I was a failure. And that's how I started perceiving myself. That aspect of me was like, I'm a failure. You're a failure.
Yeah.
And every day,
Absolutely.
abusing me in and out, abusing all day in, day out, abusing me until I dismantled it within. They didn't change. The minute I dismantled it within me, the two of them completely stopped. And all
Amen.
my family, they didn't, I didn't perceive that energy that I'm a failure because I'm not making money. It's my choice not to do that. I can get 9 to 5 tomorrow morning. But my choice for them was a choice of failure and
Yeah.
rejection.
Yet again, right? The structure
But
that
it's
we
not
took
theirs, it was
upon.
mine all along. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
yours.
yeah, but the structure that we took upon, so it's funny that it's simple as that, right? If bliss needs a reason for you to be bliss, like it's not a real bliss. If I have to have something from outside for me to feel whole, it's a bullshit hole anyways.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not wholeness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Like
wholeness.
I told you, it's like being a lady. The minute you have to say you're a
Yeah,
lady, you're not a lady. The minute you
yeah,
have to say you have power, you don't have power.
yeah, exactly. And
The
the
minute you
beauty
have to
of it
say
is
something, you don't have it.
And the beauty of it is that this reality is supporting us to see where
Mhm.
we're shooting ourselves in the foot. Because
Yes.
a lot of times these are
Yes,
unconscious
of course.
structures, unconscious core beliefs,
Yes.
all of it. And I love
Consciousness.
how
Who said it? Do you remember who said it? He said, It's Alan Watts, but who was Alan Watts' teacher? I don't remember. I think Yogananda, Paramahansa Yogananda. I'm not sure. He said it's consciousness creator playing hide and seek with itself.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
So
yeah.
the awakening is not you crystallize in a high state. You're like, whoa, I'm now done. Let me ride horses for the rest of my life in the Marlboro Man commercial. You're not always in that like high state freedom. I'm the man. Basically, what Alan Watts is saying, which really helped me a lot, because I felt guilty for dropping back down to 3D and misery very often from these high peaks experiences. The higher they were, the more drastic the
Usually,
fall
yeah,
felt, because then the
yeah,
depth of 3D feels like horrid, unbearable jail compared to these high peak experiences, because you have experienced eternity. Once you taste infinity, how do you come back to the let me pay the bill today and utility? So uh, that bouncing back and forth, I thought it was not normal. I thought I was doing something wrong, and I felt really guilty for it for years. That I'm not doing something right. How can this be normal? And then Alan Watts explained once in one of his teachings that you never, even the greatest teachers didn't crystallize there. Even Jesus, just before going to the Golgotha or whatever that was, the mount, he withdrew himself with the full of doubt into the olive garden, and he over there conversed with his father, with God, full of doubt. He had his own crisis of faith. So he had fluctuations. All the humans have fluctuations. So even the Buddha had it, even the highest of ascended masters. So he said basically nobody crystallizes forever because there's no point in that. You will always have these uh, awakening is basically remembering who you are. Yeah, I'm eternal, beautiful being that was never born and will never die. I'm forever reality. I'm the ultimate reality, and whatever happens is transient. You remember who you are, and then you forget, and you're again this is horrible, this is horrible, and then you again remember, and you forget, and you're basically awakening is a beautiful cosmic swing of remembering and forgetting who your true nature. That's what he said, which sounds brilliant.
I love it. Well, the pendulum, right?
Yeah, everything is pendulum.
Yeah,
Nothing is straight
yeah.
line in the universe, anyhow. It's
Yeah,
all
well,
pendulum
yeah,
swings.
and for me, what how I see it for myself, right? If I zoom out, eh, again, that up and down always happens within more or less for me within the how do you say it? Within my basis frequency. What do I
Yeah.
mean?
Within the
So
within the
until
spectrum.
I establish the higher,
Uh-huh.
right?
And then then
I'm
you
always
jump
I
like
because it's always a wave. So me basically, if I am in between shame and willingness, right? Yet I'm moving into willingness
yes,
dominantly, like I'm
yeah,
stabilizing dominantly willingness. I'll
uh-huh.
keep moving there.
Yeah,
Now I'm in willingness. Now
yes,
I am elevating and
yes,
connecting
yes.
to more
It's
structures,
like
but it allows me to be in. So I'm still gonna have the wave,
yes, fluctuation, yeah.
right? Yes, because it's a wave either way,
You
right?
know
So
how you know how particles, when they're excited with a little bit of extra energy, higher frequency energy, how particles of the atom, they jump from one
yeah, yeah,
from
yeah.
one, your one root to another, from one layer to another. They keep jumping, and that's how we feel when we are excited states. We literally jump bandwidth. Entire bandwidth is jumped.
Yeah, can Marcus said can't connect before disconnecting first. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
we had to disconnect although we're always connected, but forget the connection, right? To
Exactly.
be able, yeah, to be able to connect again. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, they wrote quite a bit and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. The power that we have, and what I'm excited about, and that's why this journey absolutely for me at least feels so worthy. No matter, like, yeah, really, it's a movie like with the low moments, it's a movie like with the high moments. It feels like one big psychedelic trip for me.
Yeah.
Yet it's so worthy because I do feel even the collective scratching the surface of our innate powers.
Mhm.
Really every word, right, that we let out, every ways of being. And it's not about not being sad or upset or angry, right? It's
Mhm.
just the resistance to that emotion.
Yeah.
It's about my relationship with what all of these colors
Yeah.
and the spectrum is.
Yeah.
If I am, feeling sad, it doesn't mean it's divine. It is
Yeah.
divine.
There is the thing
We're
is
only
that there
taking
is
not divine when we start resisting and
Yeah,
labeling it bad, yet my divinity doesn't stop at me sitting all smile. My
yeah.
divinity doesn't
But
stop.
you
I am
forget
divine when I'm angry,
there's a
right?
lot of trauma that people, uh, a lot of trauma that is so so ugly. Let's call it ugly. You know, when you're thinking about something that is so fucking ugly that you cannot integrate it. Like
Okay.
you're not ready. Like I had times when I would say, I said to my sister, whatever happened, don't tell me because I repressed it for a reason.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want to know it. So integrating bits of you that were forsaken for so long in that shame, in that some despicable thing that happened. It's like, you know, when you think about it, you go like this, ugh, you grossed out. So when these things have to be, not for me, for collective, when they have to integrate it, that is some serious commitment. It's serious commitment. Like when it starts coming, my first impulse is to go for a jog because I used to run. I used to run a lot, like 14 miles a day. Imagine that exhaustion every day, 14 miles, just not to sit with yourself.
Yeah.
Like marathon training and going to the gym and lifting weights and just doing anything.
Yeah, that was pulled back from me because for me it was very easy. I always had a very strong mind and the will of the mind. I don't know. For me, like if I decided right now, like not have ice cream for 3 years right now, I would be like, okay, it's not good for me. I don't. It doesn't taste good even. So it literally will not taste good.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And so
A
the
lot of
gym.
people don't have that. They
Yeah,
can't.
the gym, the workout was so the easiest way for me to always uplift myself. And when I was started fully going through the transformation and remembrance, even that was pulled
Mhm.
from me. 2 years in a row, suddenly it's an ankle injury. Then suddenly it's a hand injury, and I am Muay Thai, right? So there's no way I can work. Yeah. And I was like, what the heck is happening? Right? It pauses me. Like I gotta lay in bed now. Like, what are you talking about? For me, it's the easiest way. And
We
I
are
used
conditioned. We are conditioned for things not to allow things to happen. You're either resisting or forcing, pulling or pushing. There's always some kind of a reaction. And the Buddha and Jesus and Krishna, they only have one principle: no reactivity, no pushing, no pulling, no resistance. No. And we are all trained into since we are babies. Like when I didn't want to eat, my parents beat me to eat. They forced me to eat. When I ate too much,
don't
why
get
are you
up from
eating
the
too much?
table until you finish the whole.
Yes. It's like, I'm not eating. Why you're not eating? You have to eat. You have to eat, forcing your body, screaming, I had enough. I don't want anymore. And now you're overriding whatever your body is telling you, your natural impulse, your God given impulse. I don't want to eat. And
Yeah,
somebody's forcing you, you're overriding that and taking in food, which is not even for you. And
yeah,
then later, you know, eating too much, you're eating, you're too fat, you're too fat. Let's go into people go. I never had it, but I assume people go into eating disorders. So it's always some kind of different different version of resistance to what is. And I think we are so conditioned in it. It's like a river, fish being in the water. We cannot even see how much resistance we have to everything because we are so inundated with it everywhere all the time. And then you realize that nobody's living in a space of allowance because allowance takes trust. And you wake up day after day after day after day after day, not know where your next paycheck is coming, where your meal is coming from. You have no apartment, you have no house, you have no ownership, you have nothing. You decided to walk through this path of liberation for a little bit. It doesn't mean that 6 months down the road you won't have
yeah,
a job on Wall Street and you'll be, you know, doing coaching or whatever. It's all there, it's all on the table. But creating that space between you and whatever is this conditioned, you know, identity of
yeah,
constantly like miming with whatever is happening outside. It's like a game of mimes always, and nobody's creating that space. So that's why I always say to these students and on my videos, creating internal space is that wiggle room between you and whatever is happening. It gives you the power of distance and perspective to realize you are not the mind, you're not what's happening, you're not the shit show. It gives you a wiggle room, and then
amen.
everything becomes smaller in perspective. And that takes you power, you take that power away of it to condition you anymore. And that's the first step of freedom, liberation. Everybody wants freedom. Money is just a way to the freedom. Power is a way to freedom. Love is a way to freedom. Everything is basically going towards freedom. Freedom is the ultimate. Peace and
Yeah, yeah.
freedom.
We're just seeking the symbols of freedom, but it's not. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Freedom is peace. Freedom means absence of resistance. That's freedom. If I'm not resisting anything, I'm just flowing and doing whatever I want, then I'm perfectly harmoniously free. You're not resisting anything. So peace and freedom, for me, peace and freedom are exact same thing, and they are same ideals. And whatever we do, I think, is in
like
that in
yeah.
that in that road. We are actually going. You know, somebody asked a Shaolin monk recently. There was this famous Shaolin monk on Instagram, and they asked him, "What do you do? You want to be happy?" And he says, "No, my goal was never happiness. That's a product of a capitalistic society. Happiness doesn't exist. It's very relative." Somebody is very happy because they got a bowel movement after being constipated for a week, or somebody just got a private jet. So these two are very different things, you know. And so happiness is never the goal. What real goal is peace. My goal is peace, harmony. That is the goal. Being connected in a harmonious way.
Yeah.
You said attached to nothing, connected to everything. That is freedom.
And
That is
for
ultimate freedom.
Yeah, for me, peace translates in this physicality through ease. We're
Mhm.
really letting
Yeah,
go of a person,
peace.
ease,
Yeah,
right? Through ease, right? Like
exactly.
detachment through ease, right? Something shaky is happening, you're still at ease, right?
It is. Yeah.
Somebody is not validating you, you're still at ease,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You don't know where the next thing is coming
Yeah.
from, the paycheck, and you're still
It's
at
basically Big Lebowski.
yes, yeah, I love
Basically, it's like, dude, like
good,
it's basically
dude.
being a dude.
Good,
That's
where's
it.
my car? We have Jennifer in the house as well, and she says, beautiful, and thank you for gold today, ladies. Much gratitude. Mark said something. Well, there's more comments. It's just the ones that I see right now. Mark says, trauma and unbalanced internal geometry of structure, correct? Must
Mhm.
be rebuilt. Well, must rebuild it. It's
Yeah,
shaky, right? And at
yeah,
this point, the collective is I mean it's not shaky anymore. My interpretation is already collapsing, right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Gonna catch up.
Titanic has
And
already started half. It's half underwater. They don't understand it
yeah.
because energetically, I think half of the Titanic is
Oh
already.
yeah. Yeah.
That's why they're printing so much money. They're really. You can see they're getting really loud. The
They're
fact that it gets really loud when they're loud, it means they're really in sinking. Otherwise, they
yeah.
wouldn't be loud. They should be quiet, little creeping up and creating structure. But
Yeah.
the
Because
is
again, physicality doesn't start shifting unless energetically it's already clicked
yes,
into place.
it's
So
6 to 9 weeks at least.
yeah, with how fast everything is unfolding, yeah, I mean, I am an Eden. I've been feeling an Eden, and I don't say that I don't have the spectrum of emotions. I have it, but yet again, it's through ease. It's
Yeah,
like, hey, okay, I'm feeling that way right now. Okay, cool.
yeah, yeah.
Perfect. It
Well,
is what it is, right?
yeah,
There's
yeah.
still gratitude. And I actually you do journal a lot. I know that, right? You've always journaled because I
Yes,
wanna
he's like 5 years old.
okay.
Billions of pages. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would love to share with everyone right now who's watching, and please share it with others and invite people because journaling and whenever I speak that again, it's not everybody's tool
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
into consciousness, moved into
Uh-huh.
conscious
Modality.
state.
Yeah.
Yet, yeah, yet in my interpretation is one of the most powerful tool as well.
Mhm.
And even, even scientifically, or if we take neuroscience, just by writing, you're
Mhm.
going into alpha and theta, and
Yes.
rebuilding that bridge connection becomes much stronger, meaning you constantly go from flow into
Yes.
hypnosis.
And
Uh,
bringing from non-material into material. You're
amen.
bringing
And
what it
nerve,
didn't
yeah.
exist into what existed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And our nervous system, in fact, right, goes because if you continue to ride for a little bit longer, the breathing, you got to slow down. Everything slow downs within you. It moves into parasympathetic as well. And we're literally programming our subconscious because the subconscious sees it outside. When you're
Yeah.
in your head, when it's in your head, we think that we
Yes.
got it,
You
but we
know,
don't. It's
there
blind. In
was
the head, everything is more or less
yeah,
blind.
there was this brilliant saying that says, "Why do you write?" Because I was writing a book, and somebody said, I saw it in a movie. She said, "I write to make sense of things I don't understand."
Beautiful. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and there was a famous saying. I think Bukowski said it, or I don't know who said it, because that held me since I thought I was going to be a writer when I was 13, and I
I
started
always love
writing.
this
And
quote.
he says, "Do not write because you want to. Write because you have to." You literally, like, I take a pen. It just doesn't matter what you're writing. It's like gibberish. It has to. I have to write. I
Yeah,
just feel that
I love it.
that pull. Like if I'm hungry and I see a donut, super crispy cream, luscious donut, and I'm hungry. That's the feeling. Like I see a piece of paper and I see a pen. I'm drawn. I have to
Same.
write,
The same, the
and it's
same.
coming out, and it's coming out like
Yeah.
a vomit.
I'm still writing with like an actual ink pen.
Yes, me
And I
too.
always blue, and I love it. My journals are my like it's a little it's a it for me it's a sacred appointment with me. It's
Yes,
a
yes.
sacred appointment with the divine within me. It's a sacred appointment for me, just be a conduit, right? And that. So
You,
I'm
you know,
actually,
you know what? Well, sorry to interrupt you, but I just remembered something. Here is it behind me. It's the diary. You know,
yeah,
when I
yeah,
woke up, I didn't know a lot of terminology because I didn't. I was not living in America, so I didn't. I wasn't part. I didn't know there was a spiritual community. I never knew about it. I didn't know what that was. So after my clinical death, I came back and I got this little booklet, started writing. 5 years later, I read those lines. This chick was writing, it was automatic writing because she writes about embodiment, alignment. She writes about frequency. She writes about things that I'm now hearing from the teachers. And back then, she has no reference for it.
yeah.
She's
I know
writing
exactly.
gibberish. I
Yeah,
was writing gibberish in my opinion. Sources creating
I know
through the thing.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Now,
yeah.
5 years later, I say this chick, this girl, was writing there. She didn't know I was gonna read this. She didn't think she was gonna live to be 20, 50. And she's like reading this stuff. She had no reference point. She didn't know the vocabulary, but she's exactly writing stuff that is not even hers. She was just streaming. And now when I read it, it all makes sense. It's like you were writing it. It's like I'm reading
Yeah,
a
yeah.
romance.
So the same. There's journals that I open, and I'm like, how
Who
did I
wrote it?
write it 13 years ago? Like, how did
Yeah,
I? Because now
yeah,
I only comprehend. There's no way I comprehended it. I'm just like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
how did I write it down? So I
yeah.
actually created January 8th, and
Uh-huh.
you're then invited for fun, right? January 8th, we are literally gonna go into a portal and rewrite. So it's going to be like a class or a master class or a seminar or whatever, session. Let's call it
Yeah,
session. All these names are weird as well, right? Session where I'm going to open a portal, right? Clean, where first of all, we literally do the brain dump. So you're gonna come in and just like write your gibberish thing, right? And then we will go into the stories that gets to be rewritten,
yeah.
or whatever that is.
Yes,
So
yes,
yeah,
yes,
so it's
yes.
gonna be a basically a session where we come and put this in a matter, as Helena said
Yes,
beautifully.
yes.
And I have a beautiful structure for it, right? Where we're gonna zero out ourselves, brain them, then go into zero field,
Yeah.
and then start creating from that.
New
And it's on the
experience of that.
yeah,
New
it's on
experience
the
of
eighth
that.
because it's infinite possibilities, right? You can jump as high as you want to, nothing is linear. So if Helena today decides, like, okay, right, I'm done with that path of I
Mhm.
have zero because there I needed to get rid of attachments. Like you said, okay, now I am on the, the whatever, like running the hugest, beautiful mission slash business of mine,
Yeah.
and producing or whatever that is. So you can rewrite.
Mhm.
And I did it $28 because it's 10, right? It's the 10 year, it's number 10, basically one, starting that new chapter for us. So everybody is invited with open heart and open mind. Please join me, bring share with anyone. Literally,
Yes.
they're journaling, they're writing, maybe because a lot of people that I work with, quantum living lifestyle, so a lot of them tried to journal before, yet not everybody can just journal from like, okay, free form, right? Because they
Mhm.
like, what do I? So some people actually enjoy when they have a little bullet points, like a
Uh-huh.
little structure,
Yeah.
right? Okay, brain dump now. Just like now, don't think, right? Now, daydream. Okay,
Mhm.
now daydream about the scenario. Oh, yeah.
Imagination is God in your being.
Amen.
Every
Yeah.
time you engage with the imagination, you're engaging with God, source creator, directly, with the
Amen.
most creative part of. That's why the system is created to kill the imagination. That's why
Imagination.
you have
Yes.
everything
Yes.
on a palm held, because you don't by not using your own imagination, you're completely it's atrophy of all
Yeah.
your imaginative
Yeah.
agencies,
Yeah.
because you have everything provided to you through the screen. So
Amen.
they're planning on, actually, the plan is to kill the agency of imagination and creativity in people. And
Yeah.
everything you can create in your life, it's healing, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Art, in any form,
Yeah.
anything. Dance, sing, play, clay. I went to some creating out of clay like workshops. It was amazing. And then different workshops for creation, for writing, for singing. Now I want to start on go back to my piano. I studied piano many years. I want to go back and do a real piano. Like,
Beautiful.
I'm drawn to filter this energy and pour this energy out, and how you say that, fertilize this energy through art. And I feel
Beautiful.
cold with it. I feel it. I like, there's
I love
nothing
it.
in mind is saying like, can you please go on Cash App and get some dough over here? Can you go and sell? Because I used to sell, I have business school selling online. Like, can you go sell some bags online so we can have some money? And it's like, no, I'm gonna be a fairy and I'm gonna create art. Like, fuck that, bring us some money in. So there's always gonna be that, polarity. But the mind is always
Again, I mean, and again, like ego for me was never something that, I get to fight with, right? It's
yes,
a tool as well. For me,
yes.
my ego is a tool. Like,
Unless it's a negative ego. When it gets
so
negative ego,
again,
it's like,
yeah,
then
but
it's
that's the thing. The ego doesn't run the show. The ego is the
uh-huh.
tool. So that's
Yeah.
already right. It wouldn't be when it runs the show. It's not the tool. You're the tool of ego.
You are the tool. Exactly. Exactly. You see?
Dude, you're the tool right now, right?
Yes, yes, yes. You nailed it. That's it. That's it.
I love
Exactly.
it. Wow, sis, 3 hours,
3
30 minutes.
hours. Yeah.
As we're doing, and we're gonna finish on 333. At least my time. Yours is very different.
Yes. Yes. Mine is 933. I'm 6 hours ahead of you.
Oh my God, look at this. Yet it's beautiful. 933. It's a good number as well.
Yeah.
So first of all, everyone, thank you so much
You
for
guys, thank you
listening,
for
for
everyone for being
being.
here.
Yes, and such really, I don't think I saw the conversation so like, look at
Yeah.
this.
So
Like
cute.
so full.
That
So
is so cute.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I actually did some
That-
screenshots
Yeah.
because when you do live, the comments, most of them, some of them stay, but some of them disappear. I don't know how it works
I've
really.
never been on live. This is my first live. I've never been on one.
Yay!
Yeah.
Oh, the Virgin is in the house.
Yeah, really, no kidding. Like, I don't even have a computer. I had to borrow one.
I love it.
Yeah.
Toot toot. Here you go. She showed up so beautifully. So yeah, so beautiful that we're all co-creating and again, harnessing our power and now not wasting it as
Yeah.
Helena shared, right?
Oh,
Uh,
oh, fertilize your own energy. Jesus, it's so
Amen.
nice. Like
Yes.
sitting on the floor in your room for Christmas alone. Ah, what a privilege. Being
Pri-
alone, being looking inwards and savoring yourself and creating this beautiful landscape space inside of you is the privilege of a lifetime. Between too many diapers to change and too many stock exchanges and too many everything that's happening on the outside, too much of everything, like pouring your own energy with your own picture into yourself and turning that speculum in and observing yourself within and enjoying yourself and just exploring yourself. It's such a privilege of a lifetime that I don't understand people who don't do it. It's just, for me, it's strange. How can
Well,
you have gold mine here and you're going outside in some swamps and picking like let
but
me
you
go.
you know the saying, right?
Yeah.
You know the saying, bee cannot convince the fly that
Why?
honey
No,
is taking a good
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, the flowers are better than shit. But there's a famous saying in Buddhism that says that God wanted to hide and didn't know where to hide. You know that.
Oh no, I don't know. I love it.
God, yeah, if God wanted to hide from people, he hid it inside of them because he knew they will never look there. So
It's a
for
good
them
joke.
to make it that journey, they had to go inwards.
I love it.
That
I
was
love it.
Buddhist. Like the God,
That's
creator,
beautiful.
had to hide himself within people. That's the only place where they would never look. Otherwise, they
Yeah,
would find him in 2 minutes.
yeah. It's such a really it's a paradox, and I love how we can, finally like reuniting with the family. I do feel
Yeah,
the same. I feel like so many, like even Mark, even met you, like you meet someone and suddenly you know them without
yeah,
knowing them. You
yeah.
feel through them, you feel them, you
Yes,
see
yes.
into
It's
them.
recognition. It's
Absolutely.
codes. It's codes.
Yeah,
I told you, I see a
yeah,
person and I cannot explain it, but I have like these little tiny little codes are just in lighting up. I see the lighting up. The minute I feel that, I feel the resonance. I cannot
yeah,
explain it. Why this person? Why not that 300-pound old lady down the street? It's her. I cannot say
yeah,
why, but
yeah.
it's
I love it.
recognition. And I have a feeling we come from the same family of consciousness. In the
Yeah,
higher ups, there is no individual's consciousness because when we incarnate here, we are individualized. Over there, there's not individualized. There's like 17, 20, 300 different consciousnesses that are together in a family of unity. And then when we incarnate here, for us, everything is actually hard because we were used to unity consciousness. So when we recognize somebody who has similar codes of origin, of our origin, it's
absolutely.
like seeing somebody in New York City on Times Square. You see the guy from your village. It's like, oh my God, you're here. You're
Yeah,
brothers already. You're
yeah,
by default, you're brothers by
yeah.
by that proximity against the odds.
And how fun is like being here together and like really being able to communicate as we talk, be together, reunite, and without such a zero judgment, and all of us are still different but the same. And
Yeah,
no, wait, who said it? I don't know if Mark said, maybe Mark some. I loved it as well. Knowing yourself is knowing others.
of
Correct,
course.
like that's why you read right away, you
There is
see.
no enemy outside. You conquer 11. What was the 11? By the Buddhists in Hindu, there is 11 ones. It's judgment, it's guilt, it's vanity, it's gluttony, whatever the Bible has.
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah,
of those are enemies within. Once you conquer
absolutely.
them within, outside has nothing to offer
Doesn't
anymore.
exist. Yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't exist because
Uh,
everyone becomes just deneutralized, completely neutralized in that judgment because you neutralized it within. And that love will always, whatever you're not getting from outside, trust me, you're not giving to yourself. If there
yeah,
could be one lesson that I learned in 50 years of my life that I lived like 5 lifetimes, if kid would ask me, my child would ask me, I would say, girl, baby girl, whatever you think you're not getting from the outside,
give it to
means
yourself first. Yeah,
loneliness is not the absence of others. Loneliness is always the absence of self. That's why we're
the
lonely. Once
presence.
we are connected with ourselves, like, oh, I love it. I love it. Am I gonna get some ice cream and watch a movie and have my privacy? Guys, stay outside. I have to lock the door. I want to be alone today. It's like
Yeah.
you're enjoying your own self. You don't need anyone.
And as you said, yeah, right, anything creative, right? Why does it feel healing and good? Because you become present. The
Yes.
journaling, you drop into presence. So
Yes.
some in the beginning, again, because we used to different habits and fragments, uh, everything is a tool. In the beginning, it becomes kind of like a modality to sit
Mhm.
down, to get ready, right? Then it's like more of a ritual, and then it's like becomes you. You're becoming more and more present anywhere. I wash now
And
dishes. I
you will
enjoy
see, guys,
washing
when you
dishes for the last 2 years. I really, I feel the bubbles, and
yes,
and it's so weird, and I love it.
you will see when you get in your 50s, because I'm now getting 50 and I'm realizing seeing the difference. How little things matter. From
Oh,
what apart from what I feel is feeding me, feeding my soul. It's everything else. It's so suddenly falling through the cracks.
yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah.
that is no. I don't know. There's no engagement anymore. Not even resistance to it. Absolute no engagement. It's like it's not existing in your hologram anymore. And even what you're gonna get dressed or what you're gonna. It's like life before this phase felt like one endless audition. I kept
Yeah,
auditioning for everybody. I'm
yes.
always auditioning for
Amen.
boyfriends, for husbands, for
Amen.
friends, for community, for my parents. You're always in perpetual audition. Are you good enough? Am I satisfying? Am I fulfilling enough for you guys? Have I danced to enough music tunes, guys?
Did
And
I
at one
cause
point,
some
you're like,
disturbance? Am I
yes,
responsible how everybody feels around
yes.
me? That's how I,
And at one point, it's like, audition is done. The
yeah.
theater's closed.
And with that, Helena, with that, that's why, in the beginning for the ego, it does feel like it's a cost. Oh, it cost me so much. It cost me to
Yeah.
feel so lonely for so many years. It cost me all the relationships. It cost me this and that.
Yes.
It cost me to be ostracized for years, right? it's fucking it's nothing. This cost for what? The liberation that I feel like I'm orc really. I don't feel like there's a people like I'm a woman walking, right?
Mhm.
A lot of times I'm like I'm moving through and I'm like I feel like an oracle. I don't know what's happening. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like I
Like
feel
I
more.
know things I shouldn't be knowing. It's like I sit with someone, I'm like, did they get divorced? Like, how did you know? I don't know. I just picked it up. Like I just felt that somebody got divorced. I don't know who it was, but in this crowd, somebody
In
here.
this crowd,
Like,
somebody, right?
your
So
field starts picking up so much info that it's really mind blowing.
absolutely, it's really yeah, and it's so fun because it's in the field. So
Yeah,
somebody says something and there's suddenly an info, and you're like,
yeah.
oh, I just pulled it.
Yesterday, my sister says, I don't believe there's a hologram. So we can end with this. I mean, and she says, I don't believe. Yesterday, I met with a friend who borrowed me computer because I got angry. I threw my computer out the window and it broke. Anyways, let's say I threw it out through the window and from second floor, it broke a million pieces. So I had to suddenly, last night, borrow somebody's laptop. So I met with this friend and he goes to me, I'm sitting with him. His name is Marco. And he says, do you know that we sit like last year at this time, we sit at this table? The last time we sat was a year ago, or something around there. I say, yes. He says, and the same person that was sitting next to us back then is sitting next table right now. And I looked at him, yeah, exactly. So we haven't seen each other in a year. We're sitting in a coffee shop after a year for the first time. We haven't seen each other face to face. To borrow the computer, we sit down at a table. The person, a
Same.
lonely guy I've never seen before in that restaurant, in that coffee shop, that sat next to us 1 year ago at next to us is sitting exactly the same spot now 1 year later. Like the odds of that are happening, just think statistically what are.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a hologram beyond holograms. You're literally creating
Absolutely.
everything as you go.
Absolutely. It gets so ridiculous that me even changing whatever color I'm wearing,
Uh-huh.
like I will suddenly decide to change something. I'll walk in the coffee shop and then suddenly there is
Uh-huh.
four people and
Yes,
it's
yes,
almost like
yes,
a hologram trying to fill in the colors where
yes,
I am
yes,
walking out. And then
yes,
suddenly I'm walking, the house is
yes,
red, and then suddenly
yes,
the
always.
windows
Yes,
are red.
always.
And it's
Yes.
so funny, and
Or
it's so funny when you see it.
yes, and if you're asking for questions, like literally, I walk out the street and I go like this. I don't know what to do about this. Should I go to Belgrade or not this weekend? And I'm like, these glasses, I don't know if they're worse for me or better for me. I don't know if I see better or I don't see better. And I'm walking down the street, there's a Christmas tree. There's a woman sitting next to me. She goes to me, I don't see a thing. That's what she says. I was like, oh, okay, good. I don't know. I was like, am I going into minus or into plus? Because I cannot tell because you have this geriatric thing, whatever it is. When you're getting older, it's getting into plus. And I was thinking to myself, do I see worse or better with them? I don't know what to do. And the woman turned to me in the middle of the street and
I
she's saying
think
to her daughter, she says, I don't see a thing.
I love
Like
it.
literally, I have people down a song answering the
Yeah,
questions. It's so
yeah.
coordinated that you couldn't make it up if you tried. You couldn't.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's again, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun now when you
Yeah.
when your own body is not glitching
Yeah.
from
20
extra
years ago,
fucking
it wasn't fun at all. It was like, what the?
no,
Yeah.
because we started to anchor the bull, then
Yeah.
we started to purge the bullshit. It's really, it's almost, it's almost more traumatizing to wake up from the traumas,
Yes.
the fucking traumas. I was okay with the fucking traumas.
Just don't, like, I want to go home. I want out.
It's
Guys.
like, yo, that's hilarious. Okay, a few more comments before we finish, and we're gonna end. So yes, to teach is to learn. To learn is to teach. Absolutely, always teacher, student, student,
Yeah.
teacher, uh,
Always.
and
True.
amazing. And even my mom today said, so I'm sharing with her these things that you taught me, and I literally, Mark, that's what I said to my mom. I said, Mom, if you can explain it to her now, good for you because you're just imprinting it for yourself deeper and now you're student as well and you're learning it deeper.
Yes.
And
Yes.
she's like, yeah, I could explain her the breathing and then she said she felt it, so it's really cool. I love it. Yes, writing solidifies truth. So yes, January 8th, we're gathering to solidify your truth, whatever truth you want to live, because it is. If you say it is, it is. Your hologram works the way you say it works.
Yes.
Right, Helena? It's like that's the fun thing where when you really see the responsibility for your own
Yeah.
self, your own
Yeah.
experiences, and it's like,
Blaming everything outside what I did for years is actually a very Now I see it. I didn't see it back then. Actually, absolute diminishment of your own power of responsibility. And I didn't see that way. I was like, yeah, it was all I'm a victim. I was victim for so many years because it really a lot of shit happened.
Yeah.
But in that process, I took so much power away from myself.
Amen.
Like I persuaded myself that I have no
That you
agency.
don't have, yeah, yeah. And then there.
Yeah.
So precisely the guy within you was hiding from you within you
Yeah,
until
because he had
yeah.
to hide again because that's the last place you would ever look in.
Ah, Matthew, always with his words. I mean, I will send both of you, both of their profiles to you, because Mark is engineer and he all like, but the way he sees patterns, it's insane. It's insane. Even when he shows me, for me, it like this, and then I was like, ah, maybe. Yet it profound. And Matthew has the way with his words. It's like really, Matthew's making love to, well, everything is God making love in general, right? Plus and minus, masculine and feminine. God is making love, the cup. Here you go. Matthew says, and I remain a constant silent flame in every heartbeat. Mm,
Yeah.
I mean, so thank you so much, Helena. Uh,
Thank you so
yeah,
much.
this again, goosebumps, because thank you for being such an awesome, raw, authentic mirror for me, sis.
You
And
are.
and you are from, well, look at us. No, you
Yeah.
are. No, you
We're
are.
just mirroring. Yeah,
You're
we're
so
just mirroring.
you are. Now you can guys log off because we're gonna stay here for 10 minutes. You are.
Well,
And everyone, right? Like, wow, they didn't finish the life ever. We stayed on you are.
my
Uh,
first life, so I'm just learning how this works.
I love it. Well, it works the way we say it works.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit how it works for everyone else? For us,
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
works like
Yeah,
this.
you see, exactly. Yeah.
I love it. And appreciate every open heart again that watched already, that will watch later, or even if you don't watch it, it's telepathic love message to all of you open heart warriors. Like this heart keeps breaking to a million pieces so many times, right? Until we're like, ah, I was always whole. Okay. And it is worth it. And I am excited no matter how this circus slash shit show slash movie slash unfolding slash remembrance looks like outside of us, as there's no outside of us. No matter how it looks, I am excited. I'm here for it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm here to stand tall. And thanks God, Helena, we got like we're not in shame anymore. We're not
Yeah,
in fragment anymore. And it's, not only you and I, there's a lot of us. Really, it takes only one to fully wake
yeah,
up. Like that for wake
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah, and
I know there's a bunch of people who's gonna watch this and say, "I saw your video. It's all bullshit." I'm sure of it. I know that's how this works. You
you
all
know
got it
what?
all wrong.
You know
This
what?
is not true. You're making up stuff. This is not never happened. I
And
love
I'm
it.
going to project absolutely differently. I say that everyone that will watch, even
No,
if
no,
they
no. I'm not saying that everyone. I'm saying I know people that are in my
it might,
surrounding.
might, yeah, yeah, it might, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure of it. It's gonna be like, yeah, it doesn't happen this way. Why are you talking like this? Like, I'm
Because for
sure
them
of
it
it.
didn't. Helena, because for them it didn't. For them it didn't, and because
Yeah,
they're sure that that's not real and that's not true, it might never.
yeah, yeah,
So they're not cutting us off, right? They're only cutting their own possibility. They out of infinite possibilities, they
yes,
just let one go. They're like,
yes,
that cannot
absolutely.
happen to me,
Uh-huh,
right? Or for
uh-huh,
me. So
absolutely.
again, your words are very powerful, beautiful beings. And even if if you resist to the message or resist maybe to our ways of sharing, I always remind people because it's very easy to dismiss a message because you're judging the messenger.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
you know, yeah, it's very challenging. If you look down or look up to someone, you're already missing the whole point.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Period. So neither looking up, nobody needs looking up, and
Hmm.
nobody needs looking down.
Yeah,
Every time we do that, again, we shoot our own selves in the foot. And I will say, everyone that I worked that already came in into my field and were powerful, simply amplified their power,
Mhm.
I heard them say the same sentence. Different perspective is the biggest value for me. And who
Yeah.
never lived their lives on the per se higher consciousness
Uh-huh.
levels, they are so beautifully open to different
Mhm.
perspectives. And
Perspective,
I'll tell you
yes.
that there are, I will have, just a housewife that is miserable and ripples the misery into the family. You
Uh-huh.
know, I will share what I will share with her a blind spot, and she will be like, "Ah, bullshit. No, that's not how it is."
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's always yeah.
And then I have the 500 CEO, right? Already very successful in many ways, right? He just came in to see, his son was not doing so well. So he was like, oh, I want to. And right away, tell me what do you see? Where is my blind spot? Oh, what I don't, oh, that's different. I've never heard that. It doesn't
Yeah,
sound fun for
yeah,
me.
yeah, they're
Listen,
open.
so much
Well,
value.
different perspective is always a value. Yes, it's added
Absolutely.
value. It's added value.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Voltaire used to say that was the greatest. Voltaire in during French
Yeah.
Revolution, he said, "I may not agree with what you're saying, but I will defend to the death your right to say it."
Beautiful. I love it. Yeah, I love it.
That's not later that was skewed in a perception of fake democracy, whatever. But for us here, it's like I may not agree with half of the things that people are saying, but different perspective. It's sometimes I listen to them just to receive that value. Like imagine they see completely opposite everything from what happened for me. Wow.
Yeah, and again, you know what's for me fun? Because my lens, again, doesn't separate that it's this or that. The way I see it, it's this and that.
Hmm.
Because everything does, again, whichever consciousness level you are looking from,
Hmm.
it's for reality.
Hmm.
So, somebody watching me right now
Yeah,
doing all
yeah, yeah,
this
yeah.
with you,
It's only
if
it's
I am crazy in their eyes, that's literally their reality. That's the fact for them
Mhm.
because that's where they perceiving it from, and that's their projection. And
Yeah,
so
because
it's not,
you
it's not I'm not
automatically.
crazy. It's I am absolutely harmonious for me, and I am crazy in somebody else's universe. Absolutely, yes. It's both. For me, it's both because I'm at this point, I'm so okay. I'm
Yeah.
fantastic being
They,
all
they burned Giordano Bruno for saying that the Earth is that we are solar system is going around the sun. Didn't they burn people alive for that? So that was somebody's crazy. You understand? You remember
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Giordano Bruno and who was else? Magellanus or whoever was
Yeah.
saying that
So, yeah. Yeah.
that
So and
we have a solar system. So they burned the person alive for saying we are going around the sun. Like, whoa, what? You crazy? Burned down. So
yeah.
yeah, this is relative. The
Wow.
crazy is quite a relative thing.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Everybody says thank you. Thank you both. Love you.
Thank you guys. Thank you
These
so much.
these
It's my first
two.
live, and it was such a brilliant experience.
I
Uh,
love it. I love
thank
it.
you.
Thank you so much. Everyone,
I
have a
brought
magnificent.
yeah,
Yeah, have a magnificent now, whatever
yeah,
you're doing. Beautiful
yeah,
experiences. May miracles and magicals that are very natural for us now, where we live, keep unfolding for us. A lot of ease, a lot of ease. Let it ripple into your hologram, into the rest of the family members, right? Or
yeah,
hologram
yeah,
players with us. And I say, at this point, everything is as is, and we are absolutely surrendering, accepting, right?
yeah.
Uh, Honoring the
Mhm.
presence of whatever
Yes,
is. And from here, not from like, need to prove something, not from like, "Ah, I'll show you how hard my the path was. I gotta have some validation now, yet
yes,
from this
yes,
place
exactly.
of like, is yet from
Yes.
this place, let's play like we never fucking played before.
Uh-huh.
Volume on your imagination all
And
the way on.
also, what is happening for older us that who are older? You know that the cells who do not replicate, they replicate only for the reason of transmission of material. So cells are replicating in nature when it's when the condition. You don't remember in the movie Lucy also talks about it. When the conditions are okay, replicate or die. So when they're replicating, the basic impulse and impetus of every cell is transmission of knowledge, transmission of material. So when you get to this age, when I am like in the 50s or 60s, your only impetus is transmission of knowledge. You have a feeling that only that is going to give some sort of a meaning, or I don't even know, some fulfillment becomes really important to transmit knowledge. And I never thought I was going to feel it, but I feel it. Like it's feels so good to transmit knowledge to some 13-year-old that may be hearing all this and saying, well, I was bullied, I was this, I was that. I don't have to do it, look at it that way. I have a choice, because people don't think they know they have a choice
Yeah.
to reframe
Yeah.
the experience in a
Yeah.
different way,
Yeah.
you know.
And we are leaving again, Helena, every why I honor anybody's really presence, because even us just coming together, even as by ourselves, we're constantly leaving that energetic signature in the collective field that is
Yes,
then
imprinting.
available. And even us here creating, like, if even you for a moment feeling like seen today, or like, oh, I did my
Yes,
first live,
yes.
and having that, like, oh,
Yeah,
uplifting
yeah, yeah,
little
yeah,
buzz
yeah.
within you, like,
Yeah,
we're imprinting that, so it's
giggle.
easier available for others in the collective field.
Yes, exactly,
As being
exactly.
crazy, look at this. Mark said, crazy is relative. Absolutely. Like, just let's be crazy. And then beautifully, Matthew said, crazy is beautiful and beautiful is crazy. Oh, here you go. I love you all. Thank you so much. It's a gift. It's a
Yes,
gift.
it was a
This
gift. Thank you,
was a
Roma.
gift.
Thank you for setting this up and giving me this opportunity, because I hadn't had one before. So I'm really extra grateful for it. You know.
Well, we're just starting, girlfriend. We're just starting. Oracle says, let's continue glitching
Yes.
whatever we want. And
So
again,
cute. So cute. Yeah, that's so
we,
cute. You're
yeah,
glitching.
and everything works the way we say it works.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I love you all.
Thank you. I love
Yeah,
you,
I'm
Roma.
gonna leave
Thank
the
you for
live,
this.
and you and I, we're gonna say still bye for a moment.
What am I
Beautiful.
doing now? What am I doing?
Not doing anything. Don't worry.
I'm
I'm just
thinking.
gonna turn on the. I love it. I love it. See, Mark. I invited Mark to come on live, and he's like, I can speak on them. It's like, okay, so I think Mark is gonna be I mean, we get to invite all the glitches. I love it.
Yeah.
Next glitch on live. Love you, beautiful beings. I am stopping the live.